Well, good morning, y'all. Welcome in. It wasn't just me. I didn't just break something. That was exceptionally loud, correct? Let's make it sure.
Yeah. I have new cans over here, and that's not why that was loud. It's just you're loud, and they work.
Super duper.
Yeah, they're a little tight on the huge melon, though. It's going to take some adjustment.
Triple XL head cans.
You know, when you work something like a hat or something until you get it to a comfortable level.
Yeah, you got to break it in.
Then you get something new, and it's just, I'm going to have a dent in my head. It's already there anyway, but it's going to get worse.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Rob Brown Show right here on the Fan Upstate. Great to be with you. Happy Monday. Hope you had a spectacular weekend. I did. Great weekend. The Greenville Liberty remain undefeated. They are on top of the USLW League table. They got a match tomorrow. The Greenville Triumph are now officially on the top of the table. They took a 2-1 victory against Northern Colorado this weekend. That was a big get. 3 points defended at the house. And the Triumph are now back on top of the table in USL League One officially. We're going to talk about that later on. How about a little bit of NHL hockey? Stanley Cup given out last night to the Colorado Avalanche. They knock off the Tampa Bay Lightning 4-2 and take Lord Stanley's Cup. And what do with Lord Stanley Cup? Immediately drop it and dent it. Outstanding job, boys. Beautiful job.
Is this before or after the alcohol?
No, this is on the ice.
On the ice, okay.
They haven't left the ice yet.
By the way, I had it on. I watched the end of the game. The game was over. It's like, okay, I'm going to bed. I don't need to see the celebration. And I missed them dropping the cup,
Let's be honest. Lonzo was just looking for a way to blame it on Tom Brady. Lonzo was looking for a way to blame Tom Brady for
when
this.
precedent has been set, whatever follows gets blamed on the person who set precedent.
We're going to talk about that later. What a chaotic moment. What a chaotic moment. Dropping Lord Stanley's Cup. Whoopsie. We'll talk about that later. Ole Miss wins the College World Series. Last team into the field, last team out of it. Ole Miss brings the Southeastern Conference another national championship, and it was the second most impressive thing that Ole Miss did in Omaha this weekend. I'm going to tell you what number one was coming up very shortly. But before we get to any of that, want to let you know that the text line, the Preferred Home Services text line, is open at 71307. Start your text with FAN, F-A-N, FAN, F-A-N, text FAN, and your message to 71307. We'll read them on the air. The phone lines are open for you as well. 844-FAN-PHONE, 844-FAN-FO, and 844-326-3663 is the phone number. You can call in, get on the air with us. Stanley Cup guys and gals, you hockey fans, listen. Don't make me be the only voice promoting hockey in the upstate, all right? I don't want to do it. I love the sport. I love these playoffs. These playoffs were spectacular with the exception of a series or two. They were absolutely spectacular. So, call me. Let's talk hockey. Also want to let you know the stream is up. Facebook.com/TheFanUpstate. Facebook.com/TheFanUpstate. You can also go to YouTube. Search and subscribe to The Rob Brown Show on YouTube. The Rob Brown Show on YouTube. You can watch the show live, go behind the scenes, chat with me and Lonzo and fellow Rob Brown Armada members during the break. Josh, my man Skrilla, checking in already. He says, morning from Henderson, I'm assuming Hendersonville, North Carolina. Is there a Hendo? I'm assuming that's Hendersonville.
There could be. I think it's Hendersonville, probably. Yes.
Either way, appreciate you taking us on the road with you, Skrilla. My man Scotty Tuati, Scott checking in, says Wings at Center on the line. Wings at Center, of course, the home of the Carolina Kickoff Show on Sundays through the NFL season. We were all there last year. Hopefully we'll be back this year. Scotty, my man, great to have you. Keegan checking in. Missed all the sports, but hung out with Hank Williams Jr., so that's a thing.
He never puts Williams on there. It could be just some Hank Jr.
No, I saw the pictures. He was with Hank Jr.
All right.
Like the Hank Jr.
Is he still a thing?
Is he still a thing? Like, what is it? CCNB Amphitheater this weekend was packed to the gills.
Okay. Well,
gills.
It's country, so I'll take your word for it.
Play something country. We'll come back to that later. Brian checking in, saying what's up. So welcome to the stream, everybody. Great to have you guys. And for those of you that don't watch the stream during that day, you should. Go to Facebook.com/TheFanUpstate. YouTube, search The Rob Brown Show. Like and subscribe. You can watch the show live, chat with us during the break. Texture says, Rob, did you watch the E60 on the Avs and Red Wings yesterday? I did not watch it yet, but I do have it recorded. Absolutely going to. I will tell you the truth. I did not know that there was that violent of a rivalry betwixt the two squads, that it justified an entire ESPN 60-minute documentary to tell the story. I did not know the story of that deep of a rivalry between the Avs and Detroit. I will tell you, I grew up a Detroit Red Wings fan. I am now a Nashville Predators fan, but I grew up a Red Wings fan. And I grew up a Red Wings fan because I had a babysitter named Miss Angela. Miss Angela was a Red Wings fan. And when Miss Angela watched us, if the Red Wings were on TV, Rob got to stay up late that night. So, of course, I was a big Red Wings guy. Did not know there was that deep of a rivalry with the Avs. To the point that the NHL apparently had a fight between Detroit and Colorado that in hockey, Lonzo, was called The Fight. In hockey, it was called The Fight. Not a fight, not one of the fights, The Fight.
All right, you piqued my interest. You piqued my interest. I'm sure it's probably on ESPN Plus, so I'll have to check it out myself.
Yeah, I'm watching it tonight. Texter says it's 2 hours long, and it is incredible. Yeah, I'll make the time. Of course, the one thing that I did not get to watch, Lonzo, that I wanted to watch this weekend was Forbidden Door. AEW and New Japan Pro Wrestling putting on Forbidden Door. Did not get a chance to watch it last night because I had other plans that had already been put into effect at that point. I do know who showed up. Very excited about that.
Yeah. I didn't watch it because my air went out Saturday night, so we had to have that fixed, and that cost a little bit of money. So I decided to, after a wonderful night of, 90-something degree weather inside the house, I decided, you know what? I'd rather have some air than watch that. So
correct decision. It was from what I understand, phenomenal pay-per-view.
I've watched a bunch of videos, including one that I sent to you that I thought you would appreciate that you probably haven't checked yet. It's very short, and you will enjoy it.
Forbidden Door last night. I have not gotten a chance to watch it. I am in the process of watching it. So we'll have a full take on that later on. I saw that last night. Spectacular.
I normally wouldn't, send something like that, but just in case, Will
Ospreay's great.
I think that's a new one for you there. I mean, because it's someone else's pocket.
Yeah. Will Ospreay's great. Oj is great. You got to love it. All right, ladies and gentlemen, we got a lot of stuff we're going to get into today. We talked NHL. We got College World Series. I do want to do this, because this is a question I'm going to ask throughout the day. The LA Dodgers came to Atlanta for the first time since Freddie Freeman left the ATL to head to LA. Back on Saturday, it was Dodgers Bravos. First time again these two teams have gotten together since Freddie became a Dodger. They had a 3-game series. Dodgers win Friday night 4-1. Saturday, the Braves win 5-3. Last night, it took them 11 innings to get it done, but the Dodgers prevail 5-3. Dodgers take 2 or 3 from the ATL. But it was Friday night that I want to talk about. Friday night, before the game started, Freddie Freeman was honored by the Braves. And he was honored from the dugout when the Braves played a montage, a video montage, some video clips up on the Jumbotron at Truist. As those videos rolled, Freddie Freeman came out of the dugout and received a standing ovation from Braves fans. The overwhelming majority of the arena was on their feet thanking Freddie Freeman for the 14 years he did in Atlanta and a World Series berth on his way out the door. And I thought it was a nice moment. I thought it was respectful. I thought it was touching for a guy who did a lot for the ATL. And then I popped on social media. And I'm calling him out because I'm going to invite him on the show this week to talk about it. But my guy Cole Bryson, Cole's a phenomenal dude. I had the privilege.
All right. Okay.
I'm sucking up because I'm about to make a run at him.
No, he's all right. I don't know if I would say phenomenal. I mean, he's okay. He's okay to have around. I mean, if he's there, you're like, okay, he's here. It's not like you invite him to come. I mean, don't give him that much credit.
I invited Cole to do stuff.
I mean, you know what I'm saying. You go to a party or something, or you just happen to be at a restaurant and the guy's there. And you're like, okay, he's here. It's not going to make me leave or anything, but I wouldn't have invited him to come myself.
Okay, I like Cole. Cole's a good dude. I like Cole. I do have to question his taste in music. He decided to skip a Braves game to go to a Kid Rock concert, but that's another discussion for another time. Anyway.
Apparently that was a good concert, according to him.
It did say it was a good thing. So Cole Bryson put up the video of Freddie getting the standing ovation, walking out on the field in his Dodgers uni. Brian Snicker, the manager of the Braves, was out there. He brought Freddie's ring out in the ceremonial box. They handed it to Freddie. Freddie is ugly crying on the field at Truist as he turns in circles and waves to all the Braves fans. The Braves fans, the Braves players giving him a standing ovation. Cole put up on his Facebook page, he said, quote, "I would not have stood. I would not have cheered. I would have sat down and ate a hot dog. If Atlanta means so much to you, you would have stayed."
Good for him. Good. He's absolutely right.
You're on board with that?
Yeah. I mean, don't give this guy all this stuff. He chose to leave you. It wasn't, if he was traded, that's different. We've seen different things where a team decides they don't want someone anymore and they come back and I'm okay with that. But if you decide, hey, I want that money, I'm going over here. You said, I'm not loyal to this place. I don't care about this place. I get more money over there. Speaking of that, I saw a highlight of a couple in the crowd. They bought the new jersey from the place where he's at now and the Atlanta jersey, and they stitched it together.
Yeah, made the half and half.
If you're in the crowd and someone's like that, do you not say something to them? I mean, that's just, no, stop it.
I got to tell you, I really processed what Cole said a lot, right? I think that
I want to tell you this. You think I'm rooting for Tyreek Hill this year? No, I'm not. I am not. He chose to leave, okay? That's the thing. He chose to leave the team. He comes back, he doesn't need a montage.
A montage.
He needs to get hit.
Smoked.
Yes.
Yeah. I like that Lonzo was looking for the most violent word he could come up with in the moment there. I respect that.
I wasn't trying to go politically correct, but but you're right. I didn't want to go as violent as I mean, because I envisioned the collision.
Don't be woke, Lonzo.
I envisioned the collision, and it was glorious.
Don't be woke. So, when we come back,
does that mean I can go sleep?
Just a minute. I need a nap. When we come back here in just a minute, I want to ask you the question. If a player bails from your team after creating a legacy, you don't have to like it, but Freddie Freeman's got a legacy in Atlanta. Were Braves fans wrong to stand and cheer and clap and give Freddie Freeman a standing ovation while he received his World Series ring and his first trip back to the ATL? I'm going to talk about that because I found that take from Cole kind of interesting. Not necessarily wrong, but interesting. So I'll ask you when we come back. My name is Rob Brown. The great Lonzo is at the helm. You're listening to The Rob Brown Show. You're listening to the Fan Upstate. What's up, chat? Good to
Man,
have
these
you guys.
the headphones are hot, man. They're hot. My ears are hot. I gotta fan my ears. They're hot.
Our buddy Chris from the Triumph said the Avs Wing Z60 is fantastic, and ESPN Plus actually has some extra content on it. Cool. I'm in.
I'm gonna walk real fast down the hallway to cool my ears off.
Okay. Ladies and gentlemen, it is Rob Brown. Listen, are you holding back from buying a home right now because you are worried that maybe your home won't sell, or maybe your home will sell too quickly, or maybe you won't find the home that you are looking for at a fair price because today's market moves fast? Here's the reality. Allen Tate makes it easy. From the start of the process to the finish, they will help you find what you were looking for. They will help you get the financing you're looking for. They will help you insure that home. They will help you close on the home. They will help you sell your home as well. Last year, Allen Tate helped over 20,000.
I'm curious to the listeners if you have ever spent any time in Guitar Center. So I was in Guitar Center Saturday, and we were getting some stuff. Cameron, my son Cameron, was with me. He was getting some stuff for his bass and things. I was getting new headphones, and a guy was helping us out. And then suddenly someone was playing guitar, and then everyone in there just started kind of nodding their head, which is it's a cool thing. You know, it really is. Have you ever been in Guitar Center when someone played something bad?
Bad?
Yeah,
Yes.
because I haven't. I mean, because I guess I'm just not in there enough. What do you do when someone plays something bad? If you work there, and you're trying to make the sale, do you go over and say, dude, I mean, tell me you just started playing?
Yeah, right.
If not, maybe this isn't the instrument for you. Like I said, I haven't been in there to hear that.
Like when I go into Guitar Center, if I'm gonna play something, the amp goes to like less than 1.
Why?
Because I don't need anybody else to hear how bad I am.
You don't want to be judged?
Correct.
Yeah, but I mean, at least you can play. However simple you think it is, you can play.
I've got my 1 D minor pentatonic chord to run through. 1 minor D pentatonic scale.
I know how bad I play the keyboard, so when I play keyboards, I'll go and just hit 1 chord and go, yep, that works. How many sounds does it make? Okay, cool.
So Freddie Freeman in the dugout while the Braves play a montage of Freddie Freeman Atlanta Braves moments. Freddie Freeman comes out of the dugout, walks out to the base path to receive his ring from the Atlanta Braves for their World Series championship last year. As he does, Atlanta Braves fans stand and give Freddie Freeman a standing ovation for like a few minutes. It was not like, okay, bravo, and sit back down. I mean, it was a few minutes worth of standing ovation for the Bravos for Freddie Freeman. So Freddie walks out. Freddie gets his ring. Freddie puts his ring on. Freddie is crying ugly tears. He looks like the lady friend after she just watched the last episode of, what is it? This Is Us. Is that the one all the people are watching?
So he's looking at me as if I can confirm. I have seen many trailers, and I do believe that it was very popular. Yes.
Yeah, I think this.
But
is
I have
Us.
never seen an episode, and I want to make sure that that's perfectly clear.
I have never seen an episode of This Is Us. The lady friend watches This Is Us, and when she watches This Is Us, she goes in the back room and she shuts the door. Why? Because I don't need you seeing me ugly cry. Well, Freddie Freeman ugly cried in front of an entire stadium of Braves fans, and the Braves fans applauded him for it. Well, I saw after this was over, our amigo Cole Bryson, Braves dude who I'm going to invite on the show. He, by the way, will be filling in for me for a few shows in early August.
Yeah, I know. I tried to get those days off because I don't want to work with that guy, but it looks like I'm probably going to have to be here with him.
Sorry about that, buddy. I'm sure you'll get through it. Cole for the first Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, and then the next Monday, Tuesday of August, I'm out and Cole's in.
Wow, you didn't take successive days? That's
Well,
weird.
it's Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday, Tuesday. I'll back next Wednesday for a 3-day work week. So that gives me a 2-day work week, 7 days off, 3-day work week. I feel like I set that up pretty well.
Well, you have more than that because you have your nationally syndicated, show on Saturday.
Well, I'm
too,
taking
so.
that off on that Saturday.
Are you
too.
really? Oh, they're letting you have that
I'm
off.
gonna be in the Dominican Republic.
You can't do your show from there?
I mean, I could if I wanted to.
You could do this show from there.
I could if I wanted to.
Obviously, you don't care enough.
Sure. Let's go with that. Let's go. Rob is going to be 2 buckets of rum deep on the beach. Probably not the best call to hand him a microphone at that moment.
Do they serve those like in keg things, like,
no,
like a
just
pirate? I don't know.
buckets,
I've just picturing
Buckets. I would like
picturing Rob the
just a
pirate on the.
cask
Yeah, that's what I mean.
to
A
carry
cask.
on,
Yeah,
Pull the cork out whenever you. Okay. Anyway.
it's like one of those beer hats, except you gotta. Yeah. Okay.
Anyway, Cole says, I would not have stood up. I would not have applauded Freddie Freeman. I'd have sat my happy behind right there in the seat. I'd have eaten a hot dog. I'd have drank a beer. And I'd have done whatever I needed to do to ensure that I showed no respect to Freddie Freeman. And initially, I was like, come on, dog. Come on, C-Money. You recognize Freddie Freeman as a legacy player for this team, right? Cole, you got to recognize what Freddie meant to this team. And then, the more I thought about it, I read, he said, if Atlanta meant so much to you, you would not have left. So I thought about it, and I went back, and I wanted to relive the saga of how Freddie Freeman ended up as a Dodger. And it basically came down to this. Freddie Freeman, all the momentum leading up to the lockout of the players by the owners, all of the momentum seemed to be going in the direction of Freddie Freeman signing another contract with the Brave. The lockout happened, and from what I understand, Freddie Freeman effectively told his agent, hey, you're in charge. Get me the cheddar, right? Give me the money. And Freddie wanted cash. Freddie wanted to get paid. And, of course he did. He's an all-star, gold glove, silver slugger, captain of a World Series team. I don't care how much you love a thing. You got to get paid to do what you do, right? I mean, the taking that to a slightly illogical conclusion, it would be, well, if you love Atlanta so much, just do it for free, right? No, that's not how this works.
Well, Atlanta offered him money. He just got more money elsewhere. It's not like they wanted him
Here's
to do
the
it for
fun
free.
thing, and this is why I actually believe Freddie's agent is to blame and why I don't blame Freddie. Once you figure in, from my understanding, and I could be wrong. If anybody can prove me wrong, I'm here to get your info here. From what I understand, after you figure California state and federal taxes into the mix, Freddie Freeman's actually getting less money to play for the Dodgers than he would have gotten from the Braves. Which leads me to believe Freddie didn't make this call. Or Freddie did make this call, but it wasn't his ultimate decision. It was a family decision, and Freddie listened to his family. Let's start with this, Lonzo. Before I get to that point, if this was a decision that was important to Freddie's wife, and he's got young kids, but Freddie's wife and therefore their kids, and Freddie's wife came to him and said, I think we'll be better off in LA, and you have an opportunity. I want you to take that. Is Freddie agreeing to move because that's what his wife wants to do? Is that bad? Does that mean he doesn't love Atlanta?
I love your hypotheticals.
It is 100% hypothetical.
Yeah, for sure. It's a hypothetical. But in my mind, I can't see someone saying, let's go somewhere where it's more expensive to live. I just can't. I know you're making a lot of money. I get that. But why would you want to go there?
I suspect that when you hit Freddie Freeman amounts of money, $5 a gallon gas doesn't impact you, right? Like $5 of gas, you're like, Jeeves, fill up the car. Here's the platinum card, right? Fill up all the cars while you're at it. $5 a gallon gas isn't impacting Freddie. If Freddie and his wife, for whatever reasons they decided LA was better, I can't fault Freddie for listening to his wife. Here's why I think that's what happened. I think Freddie asked his agent to handle, which is why, because remember, the reason the Braves picked up Matt Olson was because Freddie Freeman, according to reports, gave the Braves an ultimatum. You have this many days to put my name on a contract that says this amount of dollars on it. You do that, I'm wearing red and blue next year. You don't, I'm Audi 5000, your pick. Now, I don't know Freddie Freeman personally. I've never met the guy. But my understanding is that that's probably not Freddie's style, right? Freddie's a leader. Freddie's a guy that stands up for what Freddie believed in as far as the clubhouse went. That's why him and Ronald Acuna had their little spat. But Freddie doesn't strike me as an ultimatum guy. My name with this number next to it in 3 days or I am out later. That is an agent ploy, right? That's an agent ploy. That is an agent going to a team and putting the screws to them and saying, if you don't sign this contract, my guys got other offers. Well, the Braves, probably unbeknownst to Freddie Freeman's agent, the Braves had another option. A lot of teams would not have another option like Freddie Freeman, but they did. They knew that Matt Olson was in the rotation, and they knew that they could probably pay Matt Olson less than Freddie Freeman for a guy who puts up damn near identical numbers, and he's like 5 years younger, 6 years younger than Freddie, right? So you got him for more time as a productive player at first base. So the way it looks to me is that Freddie's agent, Corey Close, I think is his name. Casey Close, Corey Close, I think it's Corey. Either way, Freddie's agent put the screws to Atlanta and gave him an ultimatum. Freddie's name, this number, 3 days, or he's gone. And the Braves went, oh, word? All right. And called the bluff. They said, all right, we'll make the trade for Matt Olson. It's really not going to take all that much. We pay him less. We got him for longer. Freddie, Thanks for all you did. And they let him walk. I think Freddie's wife wanted to be in LA. My understanding / context clues from her Instagram feed was that Freddie's wife wants to be a reality star. Freddie's wife, who is a gorgeous lady, Freddie's wife wants to get in on the reality TV market. She wants to be an actress. She wants to be on TV. She wants to be a pop culture queen. Where's the best place to do that? It's not Atlanta. It's LA. So my thought is that one and or both of those things happen. Freddie's agent, unbeknownst to Freddie, put an ultimatum to the Braves, and the Braves went, all right, we good? Deuces. We got Matt Olson. And or Freddie's wife was like, yo, look, Fred, I love you, but I want my own career. I love you, but I don't want to be Freddie's wife. I want to be me. And I want to do it on TV. I want to go to LA.
Well, I think it's well known that
Freddie's also from LA, by the way.
Okay, but I think it's well known that Atlanta, a lot of things are filmed in Atlanta, movies, TV
Sure.
shows, all that kind of stuff. So you could have that career there if you wanted to.
Yeah, but if you look at I think her name's Christy, she's an LA chick.
Probably.
She's a 10, blonde hair, bleach blonde hair, blue eyes. She's absolutely. And again, Freddie is from. He grew up an Angels fan, not a Dodgers fan. Chelsea Freeman, sorry. Chelsea's his wife. He grew up an LA sports fan. So while he's been in Atlanta for 14 years, and that was the club that brought him up and made him him, Freddie is an LA kid at heart. So this is going home for him.
See, if he wants to go home, that's fine. But you deal with the repercussions or what should be repercussions of that. Baseball seems to be a little bit like college football in that people pick a team for life. And you've been an Atlanta Braves fans for how long?
Since I was a kid.
Yeah. So, I mean,
young kid.
that's how baseball seems to work. And he chose to go elsewhere. Not only that, if you want your ring, you'll get it in the mail. That's how that goes. That's how that goes.
Well, in fairness, it was the Braves' decision to do that. The Braves could have just mailed it to him.
Right. Well, still.
But the Braves said, this dude was here for 14 years. He brought us a ring. He got us what we needed. He pushed us over the edge. Like, we can celebrate this guy. And the overwhelming majority, and I will tell you, after having thought about it post what
you know
Cole
what?
said,
I would say I sent the ring to your old address. Sorry you didn't get it.
Oh, you don't live at 333 Braves Street in Atlanta, Georgia anymore? I thought about it. And listen. In this line of work, Lonzo and I meet a lot of people. And this may shock you, but I've had to meet and interview a lot of people I don't like as people. Politicians, athletes, musicians. I've had to meet and interview a lot of people I don't like. And before that's happened, you kind of have to have the discussion in your own head of, okay, how am I going to treat this? And the majority of the time, the overwhelming majority of the time in this role, it is professionally, right? I may not like the senator from this state. I think he's a clown. But then the role that I am in, I need to act professionally. I would have had the conversation with myself. What am I going to do when Freddie comes out? Am I cheering him? Am I sitting down? And I think, having thought about it that way, the correct answer for me is I would have given him the standing ovation. 14 years this man put into that program. And I do not think that he ultimately controlled it. Ultimately he decides what contract to sign. But there was enough interview. There was enough outside circumstances, in my opinion, surrounding Freddie, that the decision got made for him, if that makes sense. So would you have given him a standing ovation if you're a Braves fan? Or would you have, as Cole said, sat down, ate a hot dog, drank a beer, and not acknowledged him at all? There you go. All right. Comments. Keegan checked in. Keegan, who is also our resident reality show expert, checks in, reminding us it is Chelsea Freeman. Yep, got that. That's on me.
What are the two symbols afterwards? Is that a point of emphasis?
Yeah, no. So if you throw asterisk something like that, it means you're correcting something. You know, like the host of the show in this case.
It's kind of. I
like it. It's passive aggressive. I like it.
Yeah, it's kind of.
I like it.
It's a little snotty, Keegan.
Yeah, I like it.
You know.
I like it. Texter says 71307. Start your text with Fan FAM. Texter says, "Who did you interview that you did not like?" I'm not going to tell you politicians. I'll tell you athletes I interviewed I didn't like. Floyd Mayweather, not a fan. Never have been a fan. Never was a fan. Never wanted to be a fan. And I interviewed Pac-Man Jones. Now, for the record, ain't no sin go to the script club, as Pac-Man Jones once said. Ain't no sin go to the script club. Problem I had with Pac-Man was how many chances Pac-Man got over and over and over and kept doing the same thing. Like, Pac-Man, do new dumb stuff. Like, if you're going to keep getting suspended for dumb stuff, do some new dumb stuff, right? Don't keep doing the same dumb stuff, Pac. Those were two athletes I did not enjoy interviewing. Trying to think who else. I didn't enjoy interviewing Nick Saban, ironically enough.
Be glad you've never, and maybe you have interviewed Keyshawn Johnson because it was.
Yeah,
not,
Lonzo's told me he did Key and
yeah,
did not like Key.
It was not good. It was not. It's just I don't mind arrogance but when arrogance needs to be demeaning to everybody, I mean, if you're cocky, you're cocky, but you don't need to talk like everyone. You don't need to talk like everyone's beneath you.
I mean, I think there's a difference in cocky because I'm a great athlete. Keyshawn, give me the damn ball, was cocky, right? And that's fine. You want that on a football field out of your wide receivers to some degree. There's a difference between confident in myself and an a-hole. And from what I understand, he kind of walked the far side of that line. So those are some of the ones that I did not like. Some of the ones I did not like. All right. Let's take a break. We'll come back here in just a minute. Keegan says, Pac-Man has really turned around. He adopted a former teammate's son after he passed away and is putting him through college. I've heard that before. Pac-Man got himself a little redemption story. I appreciate that. I like that. I like that for Pac-Man. That being said, that wasn't what was happening when I interviewed Pac-Man. Who else did I interview I didn't like? I've got a few more. I'll think about it. All right, take a break. Back after this. The Rob Brown Show rolls on next. It's the Fan Upstate. Upstate. Upstate.
Stephen, to answer that question, Stephen asked, would I rather interview Steve Smith or Keyshawn? Steve Smith. I think Steve Smith was kind of a punk and a bully.
Steve Smith was a punk and a great smack talker.
He broke the nose of a teammate. I think Steve Smith hurt Cam Newton more than he helped him because he was, I believe, this is my belief, is that he threatened Cam all the time that he was going to beat him up if he didn't try to throw him the ball. So he tried to throw Steve the ball way too much. That's just me speculating.
Would have paid money to see Steve Smith try to fight Cam Newton. Paid money to watch.
It would have been the same thing as what Paul White told us about Bryan Danielson. Same sort of thing. Waiting in the shadows. Just waiting in the shadows to jump on his back.
That's still funny.
And as he's waiting, he's trying not to smile that one smile that that smile that he's about to do something. I did have some bad interviews with some former horror stars, especially one in particular who decided to drop 4 F-bombs on the air. To the point where you go, make the client happy, lose job. Sorry, client.
Sorry, client.
Although the client did apologize, so
I mean, he's got to understand.
Yeah, he's like, sorry, he was drunk. Yeah. He's like, yeah, I kind of figured that out. I kind of figured that out. Well, you don't know for sure until, luckily that was not on StreamYard, because that would have been bad. Don't give him that kind of credit. You know, the only reason, Tracy, that got fuel was because of me. That had nothing to do with Cole. And please tell him I said that. I'm expecting a text from him at any moment calling me out.
From Cole?
Yes.
Everybody get up. It's time to slam now. We got our real jam going.
Really?
Now. Welcome to the Space.
You got Space Jam theme stuck in your head?
Dance in the Space Jam.
At least it's not country. So, actually, that was a pretty good song.
It was a great jam.
Yeah,
man.
yeah, it
The
was.
song ruled gyms for about a year. You know what was not appreciated enough? The Monstars theme. The Monstars theme was as good of a hip hop song as you've ever heard. We won and oh, we unstoppable. We run the flow.
I think my new commercial went over well Saturday night. The one I let.
It was hilarious.
Yeah. Turns out that there was supposedly in Spartanburg an auto parts store that, I mean, it was a mechanic place that also sold lingerie.
Cool.
Which was the whole joke of the thing. There's always some local thing that they can't make enough money on what they're, so they have to pick up a side business, and it never goes together. I still think the tiny house thing is funny. All these people want to move in a tiny house, but they'll make fun of a single wide. And a single wide actually has a little more room. So how was Jurassic? So my instincts were correct. I'm pretty good at that.
If you just showed me the scenes where dinosaurs were eating people, I enjoyed it. It was a monster movie. Anytime they tried to do anything that didn't directly involve dinosaurs, it was a train wreck. It was, Lonzo, it was the most Deus Ex Machina movie I've ever seen in my life. It's like everything that happened, it's like this whole movie falls apart if this one thing doesn't happen this exact way. I'm trying to think of one that isn't going to give a plot point away. Character A sees a pivotal moment in the movie to happen. Character A realizing the movie is happening because of, and this may shock you in a Jurassic Park movie, the head of $1 billion industry that's trying to capture the dinosaurs to research their genetics to make more dinosaurs. Have you heard that one before? Yeah. Okay.
Wow, that sounds familiar.
So, character A sees a bad thing happen. Character B, who needs to know what happened, happens to find that character just washing her hands in a bathroom. First character she's talked to in the whole movie, and she's like, have you seen this person? And it's like, you just asked some chick in a bathroom, have you seen this person, for no good reason? Like, it's bad. It's bad, and I feel bad saying it's bad, you know?
By the way, you are not the only one on the station who also told me it was bad.
Who else said that?
I spent an hour with our friend Mark Ryan.
Yeah?
Friday.
Bad too?
And yeah.
Let me tell you
this.
this,
It was off the air, but he told me, so yeah.
Let me tell you this, ladies and gentlemen.
Yes, Mark and I can have a conversation off the air
weird.
for those who are really surprised.
Let me tell you this, ladies and gentlemen. Mark Ryan and I agree on very little. Very little. When Mark and I agree on something, you can take that to the bank. Take it to the bank. I am sad to regret. I regret to inform you that the new Jurassic Park movie is bad. We saw it on Friday night, and I felt the need. Lonzo asked me on the way out the door Friday. So like, you going to see it because you want to see it? And it was like, from what I understand, and now at this point, I hope that it is the last Jurassic Park movie, right? That was my understanding, is this is it. This was the grand finale, which is why I don't think it's a spoiler anymore. They brought back the OGs. Alan Grant is back. Malcolm is back. All the OGs are back, right? Jeff Goldblum, Laura Dern, they're all back. Sam O'Neill, they're all back. And so I'm like, you know what? I kind of feel like I gotta see it, right? I kind of feel like I gotta see it. The first Jurassic Park in the 90s was like movie magic for me. It was a transformative film for me because we're all dino fans. All of us are dinosaur fans.
Yeah, I think most children like dinosaurs.
How could you not be? And most adults think dinosaurs are amazing. It's just not as smiled upon to say so publicly. Dinosaurs are awesome. If Jurassic Park was real, I would go in a heartbeat.
Yeah, not me.
In a heartbeat.
Not me. But
Dinosaurs
still.
are awesome. So, I went to see it because of how important the first Jurassic Park movie was to me. It was one of the most important movies to Rob Brown. It changed how I looked at movies, right? Because even though I was young, to see the T-Rex alive, to see raptors alive, I mean, it was transformative. So I'm like, okay, I got to go see it. It's the closing chapter, right? I've seen them all. I got to go see it. Halfway through this movie, I'm like, oh, this is bad. This is so bad. It's so bad.
Did the people that you went with, did they like it?
So I went with the lady friend and then one of her girlfriends. And I think they were kind of like, okay, it was fun. You know, like, again, if you are there for the dinosaurs eating people, sure, it's fun. There are plenty of LOL giant carnivore dinosaur shook that guy around and then swallowed him. Ha ha ha, sucks to be that guy. There's plenty of that. There's a lot of that. But like the parts where the movie tries to be a movie, it's just not good. I think we're outside of the spoiler window now, are we? Had it been 2 weeks? It's been out 2 weeks?
Yeah, you're being called out on the stream a little bit about the spoiling, but no.
I haven't spoiled anything. I said it wasn't good. And if you are shocked and spoiled, dinosaurs eat people in a Jurassic Park movie, right? That'd be like spoiling Maverick by saying Tom Cruise flies some planes in it. Yeah, no, yeah, obviously. I won't spoil it. Suffice to say, it lost me when character A sees a thing happen. Now, again, I will spoil this because shock me, color me shocked if you haven't heard this story yet. The whole antagonist of the movie is not the dinosaurs. The antagonist of the movie is billionaire company wants to capture all the dinosaurs to do genetic research and take over the world. Again.
By the way, technically, the antagonist of the first movie was a billionaire because, you did it. Why did you do this? To make money. And in the end, you created chaos.
Literally, the antagonist in every Jurassic Park movie is individual billionaire or billion-dollar corporation trying to win more money, more. Anyway, character A sees a thing happen and walks away from the thing because she realizes that the thing happened because of the billion-dollar company.
No, every time you say she, you're spoiling because there's
half the cast of this movie is women.
Okay, but there are two main females that we know of without seeing it.
That you know of from the commercials. Half the cast of this movie is female. Character A sees a thing happen because of the company. Character A walks away from this thing because character A is like, I'm not getting involved. Character B needs the information about this thing, but is nowhere around when it happens. Character A, in the midst of a very crowded environment, Character A goes to wash her hands in a restroom. Character B walks into the restroom and is like, hey, do you have this bit of information that I need? And Character A's like, oh, yuck, sure do. Because why wouldn't they? You're in the midst of this crazy crowded area with a ton of people around. And the first person that you ask just happens to have the one piece of information that is required for you to go do the thing that drives the movie forward. It was just bad. It was just bad, man. It was just bad. And I hate that it was bad. You ask anybody, I would say, Zoe, in the realm of like 32 to 42, and Jurassic Park was a pivotal movie for them in their lives. And then they ended it with this. And it's not Chris Pratt's fault. It's not Bryce Dallas Howard's fault. It is certainly not Jeff Goldblum's fault. It's not Sam O'Neill's fault. It's not Laura Dern's fault. It's not, who else is in this movie? Anyway, it's not their fault.
The lady who's flying the plane.
It's not their fault. It's not the fault of any of the characters. It's just a poorly written movie. You told the same story. How many Jurassic Park movies we got now? 6 or 9? I can't remember.
I think it's 6.
I think it's 6. You ran out. And don't worry about it. It happened to Star Wars too. The last 3 Star Wars movies. The first one was a carbon copy of the very first Star Wars movie. The second one was, what if Star Wars goes too far? And the third one was, we got to retcon everything. Here's the Emperor again. You like the Emperor, don't you? Here he is again. Right? That was it.
Yeah, but they fixed all that with Obi-Wan and with the Mandalorian.
God, Obi-Wan's so good.
Yes, it was.
So good. All right. I did not intend for this to become a Jurassic Park review, but if you haven't seen it yet and you are a Jurassic Park fan, I know you want to see it because you want to see cool dinosaurs. You have seen them all already, all right? There's like one new major dinosaur in it, and it's not even a really cool one. The new giant monster dinosaur is an herbivore. Exactly. You didn't even give us like a new killer dinosaur. I mean, you did, but like, shocking, the T-Rex is there still. Like, if you were a fan of Jurassic Park, don't see it. Save your money. When we come back here in just a minute from right now, plenty more sports. Lord Stanley Cup, we're going to break that down. College World Series is finished as well. And the NFL reports coming out that they have an idea of how they want Deshaun punished. I'll tell you what their initial push is when we come back on the Rob Brown Show and the Fan Upstate. Thank you, Steven. Thank you.
Did you, I know the answer before I ask this, but I'm going to ask anyway. Did you read the Lambda stuff yet?
The what stuff?
Exactly.
I didn't hear what you said.
The Lambda stuff.
No, I did not.
You need to read it.
I have to say, Keegan just texted me because Courtney really did like the Jurassic Park movie, but her opinion is invalid to me. because she has not seen the original Jurassic Park, the first one, the best one.
So what you're saying that seeing dinosaurs gets old after a while because you've seen them enough that there's no you're desensitized to the glory that is watching it for the first time.
No, I'm saying the original Jurassic Park had a great story that made sense. And seeing dinosaurs is awesome. This one...
Were there no kids in this one?
Did you see the last one?
Yeah.
So you know about the I don't know how to say it in case you haven't seen it, but you know about the do you know about the clone from the last movie?
I don't remember.
Okay. There is one preteen in this movie who is a major plot point.
The only reason why I was asking is because I think the kids and the couple, the kids always seem to be the focal point
Yeah.
in the other movies, and maybe the absence of that might have hurt it.
The third Jurassic Park movie was very good. As sequels go, the third Jurassic Park movie was really, really good. That being said, the OG Jurassic Park is, without question, the best movie. And just in case you have forgotten, remember, pterosaurs are not dinosaurs. They're flying reptiles, not dinosaurs.
The haughty intellectual has spoken.
Do what?
I said the haughty intellectual has spoken.
That's just a fact. It's not haughty. That's just a fact.
Well, it's about tone, Rob. It's all about tone. In case you forgot.
In case y'all
Joe.
must have forgot.
I don't talk down unless it's necessary. This Friday was interesting. It was a whole lot of Deshaun Watson talk for the hour. So I decided to go against the Southern accent.
Correct decision in that moment.
Which still would have been funny, but I played nice. Although I did interrupt quite a bit. But my points were really good, so, you know.
Always are.
No, they're not.
Get in the zone, auto zone. What is a more earbud catchphrase? Get in the zone, auto zone, or O'Reilly Auto Parts.
I would go neither and go liberty, liberty, liberty.
Liberty Bibberty.
When my granddaughter was 2, one of the first things she picked up, she was saying other words, but she would just out of the blue start doing that because that commercial was playing forever. So they're going after your kids, man. The AutoZone thing's a little more manly and macho, though. Yeah.
Hour number 2 already? Question mark? He said, knowing damn well that, yes, it is hour number 2 already. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. The Rob Brown Show's on your radio. This is the Fan Upstate. Hello, Upstate, South Carolina. It is good to be back with y'all. Once again, we appreciate it. Be a part of the show. 844 fan phone. 844 FANFONE. That's 844 326 3663. You can also text the show on the Preferred Home Services text line at 71307. 71307. Start your text with FAN. 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 We'll read them on the air. Texter says hour number 2, and we have talked sports 2 minutes total. All right, first off, that's a lie.
The majority of the first hour was talking about Freddie Freeman. I believe baseball is sports. I mean, I could be wrong.
I mean, there are some people that are going to disagree with you.
Yeah, I mean, it's down on my list, but I do know that it exists as a sport.
I wish you had just ended the sentence there. I do know that it exists.
Well, it also rhymed what I just said
because
I'm good at that.
Listen, I just felt the need to let people know that if you got the chance to go see Jurassic Park or Jurassic World Dominion, go ahead and pass. Worst case, wait for it to come out on whatever streaming service.
Yeah, you spent like 8 minutes on that.
Yeah.
I'm sorry if you just tuned in. That's your fault.
True.
Show starts at 9 a.m. Where were you? Promptly.
Colorado win the Stanley Cup Game 6, and it is all over, ladies and gentlemen. Tampa Bay Lightning fall 2-1. It was Colorado that on Saturday night called a players-only meeting. They knew that they missed a huge opportunity to clinch the cup on home ice in Game 5. Instead, Tampa extended the series and drew within one game, made the series 3-2 with a win. Cale Makar, who has been an absolute stud for the Avs, said, quote, "We knew the job that we had to do, but we needed to just talk about staying mentally locked in and not looking too far ahead. It was Cogliano and Lendesog and McKinnon, and basically speaking, just calming the guys down, making sure that regardless of the outcome, just put it all out there and see where this game lies, and that's kind of where our minds were at." He said, "I felt like throughout this whole game, our mentality was just win the period, win the next one, get the next shift, and so on. And we were never looking too far ahead in the outcome. We definitely feel like we earned that one," and they did. Speaking of Cale Makar, finished the postseason third overall in scoring 8 goals, 29 points in 20 games. The 23-year-old not only won the Conn Smythe Trophy, but also won the Norris Trophy last week, making him the third defenseman to win both the Smythe and Norris trophies in the same season. Makar was the first unanimous Conn Smythe winner since the Professional Hockey Writers Association began tracking tabulations 5 seasons ago. But when it came down to it, this team was just good. This team was just good. Steven Stamkos scored his 11th goal of the postseason, gave Tampa a 1-0 lead through 20 minutes. The pushback from the Avs came in the second period. Nathan McKinnon had been waiting for a chance to break out, and he finally found it. Took in a one-timer from the left circle and just buried it past Andrei Vasilevsky, and Colorado would never trail again. Arturi Lehkonen scored the game winner in the second period as well. The Avs were able to hold on for there to deny Tampa the three-peat. McKinnon, it has been a long road to become a Cup champion with Colorado. He is part of the core that endured a last-place finish all the way back in 2016-17. Eric Johnson, Mikko Rantanen were all on that team. They did not know if they would ever make it. Now their names are on the Stanley Cup. Nathan McKinnon, who has been a monster in this postseason, said, quote, "That season was a rock bottom from an NHL perspective. It just shows that management was patient with Jared. They were patient with us. They didn't blow things up after a second-round exit for the third year in a row. They believed in us. They added high-character pieces who wanted to do anything they could to get this win. It's special," end quote. Colorado was on a different level last night. They were on a different level. Texter says, Rob, I watched the entire game last night. It was fun to see the Avalanche get the cup back. You kind of had a feeling throughout the whole series that the Lightning were outmatched. Kemper did okay last night, but it was more the Avalanche defense preventing the Lightning from even getting shots on goal. That's exactly right, Texter. You are spot on. Good analysis. Agreed completely. Darcy Kemper and the goalkeeping for the Avs in this postseason was good. It was good. Darcy Kemper last night was not spectacular by any stretch of the imagination. What was fortunate for Darcy Kemper was that the back line of Colorado were basically sniffing out nearly every single Lightning attack. Nearly every single Lightning attack Colorado was throwing men at. They won the forecheck every single time, with one exception, which was the Stamkos goal early. It felt like Tampa had another goal coming. It really did. But it seemed like every time they were able to get something up, Kemper had been untested so many times that he was fresh start to finish. Start to finish. I'm going to tell you right now, this Avalanche team in the playoffs was fun to watch, right? Because they're young, because they're fast, because they are ruthlessly aggressive. They're fun. This team deserved the Stanley Cup. Without a doubt, this team deserved to win the Stanley Cup this year. They were the best team in the postseason. They swept Nash Vegas to open. They withstood onslaughts of goals elsewhere. And then to wrap it up, they went up against the two-time defending NHL Stanley Cup champs. Tampa gave him a couple of goals. Tampa gave him a couple of wins. But ultimately, Colorado controlled the series.
I do have to ask one thing because I watched nearly the entire game. I came in like at the end of the first period.
Okay.
And the broadcast crew, is it just me or was it not very good? I mean, it just McDonough, he's very vanilla. I mean, you know what you're going to get with him. It's just, but the color guy, I didn't get a lot of emotion out of him. The in-between periods, I didn't think was that good. The experts didn't talk real well. I'm just from a producer standpoint, as this is a big game, and this is all that studio had to offer. I just would have liked to have heard some more excitement to get me more into the game. And the game itself was really good. And again, I watched it, and those parts were fine, except for everyone seems to share the same beard, which is kind of weird.
It's playoff beard, man.
Is okay, but why do they all look the same? It's like
Playoff beard.
it's like G.I. Joe paste on beard. It's just very strange. But so other hockey I've listened to and watched is more exciting because I think play-by-play and all that kind of stuff adds to it. I just think couldn't they have put together a better crew?
So I'll say this. I was talking, as a matter of fact, we went to the Triumph game. Mark Shelley, the voice of the Swamp Rabbits, is a friend of mine. You know, you guys have heard him on and off the station, the seductive sounds of Mark Shelley on the Swamp Rabbits radio. We got to talking, and I told him, you know, in 15 years of broadcasting, the only sport that challenges me for play-by-play is hockey, because it's unbelievably fast, and it doesn't let up, right? Hockey is hard to do. And if you do not have every player memorized on the ice for both teams, you will get lost, right?
And I get there's a difference between the radio broadcast and the TV broadcast, especially a local radio broadcast. Those guys know the team. They have emotion. They have something behind it. They have a stake in who wins and who loses. And so you hear a little bit more out of it. This is one of those cases where I wish maybe they would have offered some, you know, they make alternate broadcasts for everything else, for the Super Bowl and all these other things. Does hockey not matter enough for them to make an alternate broadcast and another way to watch the TV broadcast?
Hockey barely gets the ratings for the Stanley Cup. And it's their championship. And if we go...
Would you not have turned to one of the local radio broadcasts over top of the TV if you could.
If I had a dog in the fight, yeah, I mean, if I was, I don't know his answer. I doubt it because I didn't really have a dog in the fight. And I'm interested to see what the ratings come out to be. Sports Media Watch has an article up that says the first clincher last Friday night averaged 4.18 million viewers on ABC. That is up about 33% from Lightning Canadiens last year and pretty much matches Blues Bruins back in 2019, the previous Cup final to take place in a normal postseason, which did 4.16 million. Sports Media Watch also points out that this is the first year ever that the first 4 games of the Stanley Cup have aired on broadcast television. In the past, at least 2 have aired on cable. So having it available on broadcast TV did not give a necessary big bump, but it did bring them back to above pre-COVID numbers, which is what a lot of sports are striving for right now, right? Like, let's get back above pre-COVID numbers. Then we can work on growth.
And that's not going to happen instantly. It's going to take a little
Takes
bit.
time. The NHL did it. Stanley Cup has done pre-COVID numbers. And I think that's probably the goal. Colorado's overtime win in game number 4 peaked with 5.8 million viewers, ranked as the most watched NHL game since the league returned from their hiatus. It topped game 1 the previous Wednesday, which had a spike of 4.2. So game 4 in overtime with the clincher on the line got almost 6 mil. That's pretty good. That's pretty good. Game 4 drew a 1.3 rating in adults 18 to 49, a 1 in adults 18 to 34, and a 1.6 in 25 to. Why is 25 to 54 a demic? That's a demo. That's a really wide demo, right? I'm 37. I am not watching the same things that a 25 or 54-year-old are watching. That's a wide demo.
I don't know. I think 25 to 54 fits this show perfectly.
No, I agree. It's still a very wide demo, right? Like 25 to 54.
Maybe.
You and people literally more than twice your age. What are y'all watching?
I was going to say, I'm turning 54 in like a couple months. So
Right.
I'm right in that
Right.
demo.
So do you feel like you're watching the same TV as a 25-year-old?
Come on.
Okay, fair enough. Take it
Come
back.
on.
Take that one back. Go ahead and pull that one back. All right. So look, Stanley Cup was good. I don't know what to tell you. If you didn't watch it because, well, I've just never watched it before, I'm telling you, you're missing out. There are sports I will tell you that if you've never watched and you're not jumping in, you're not missing out. Sorry, lacrosse. All right, you don't watch lacrosse, you're not missing anything. Cornhole. If you never watch cornhole, you're not missing anything by not watching cornhole. You're missing out if you're not playing cornhole, but you're missing out if you're not watching or you're not missing out if you're not watching. If you're not watching Lord Stanley's Cup in the playoffs leading up to it, you're missing out, right? And if you are doing it because you are succumbing to peer pressure, right? You don't watch hockey because we're in the South. We don't watch hockey. Dude, hockey's like the perfect sport for the South. It's fast. It's violent. A and B qualifications.
I would that game last night was seriously violent.
Yeah.
I mean, there were some collisions and the guys get
And I
back
need you
up
to
and it's
know-
like,
Here's a secret. The whole series was that way. The whole series was that way. It was brutal.
not only is it violent, but then you hit the ice.
Yeah. And for those of you that have never been on a hockey rink before, I have. I'm going to tell you, it hurts. The ice is hard. And it's cold.
Well, when we went curling, that was on
Yeah.
that place where they also play hockey, and it's like, okay,
You don't want to eat it.
I knew this stuff was, but man, this is yeah.
It's concrete, dude. It's concrete, right? So these guys are killing each other and going to a concrete floor when they do, yeah. Like going to a concrete floor when they do is great. If you are not watching hockey because, well, I just don't watch hockey, you're missing out. If you're not watching hockey because you are succumbing to the peer pressure of, well, it's not a Southern sport, or my daddy never watched hockey, well, I'm telling you, your daddy missed out because hockey's great. And these playoffs were great. Congratulations to the Colorado Avalanche. Tampa is, by the way, Tampa's not going anywhere. Tampa's going to be back next year as a threat. Vegas has already put out their odds for next year. No shock right now. The Avalanche are your Stanley Cup favorites to win the Stanley Cup next year. They are 6-1 favorites. Just behind them at 8-1, Tampa Bay Lightning. The Carolina Hurricanes are square with the New York Rangers in third longest odds at 10-1. Panthers 12-1, Vegas 12-1, Maple Leafs 12-1, Oilers 12-1. St. Louis 16-1, so are the Wild, so are the Flames. The Flames are 18-1. The Bruins also 18-1, and the Penguins are 20-1 according to Caesars. Colorado and Tampa are the two favorites to be back in the finals next year. Let's take a break. We'll come back here in just a minute from now. College World Series happened as well. It is another event you didn't watch this weekend, and you blew it by not. You blew it by not watching. That is just an absolute fact. Fan, I had the Lightning plus 1.5 goals on a 17 parlay last night. All of the other legs of the parlay were on Saturday. Once they pulled the goalkeeper, that was 1.5 minutes of serious sweat. Yeah, I believe it. I believe it. But you got through? You got through? You made it out? Back after this on the Rob Brown Show. It's the Fan Upstate. Prisma. I got hit by a bunch of tweets from crypto bots this weekend trying to get me to buy crypto.
So Ben Affleck's buddy got a hold of your
Yeah. Yes.
or your phone heard us making fun of it and decided, hey, he
Yeah,
really
right.
wants to buy that. So I'm guessing you jumped in on the crypto because you believe it's coming back, right?
Oh yeah, big crypto bro over here.
Crypto, bro.
In fact, they call me Crypt Bro.
No, that's probably a bad idea. Luckily, you're not wearing certain colors.
The Rob Brown Show back on the radio. It is the Fan Upstate. Rob, Lonzo, you. 844-FAN-PHONE, 844-FANFONE, 844-FANFONE. That's 326-3663. Can also shoot us a text on the Preferred Home Services text line at 71307. 71307. Start your text with FAN, F-A-N. We will read them on the air. Couple more stories to get into. How about the Ole Miss Running Rebels? Ladies and gentlemen, they are your 2021-22 College World Series champions. They were the last team to get into the NCAA bracket. They were the last team standing in it. And look, it doesn't hurt when the team you're up against, Sooners, allow you to score, Lonzo, not once, but twice in the same inning. Ole Miss would take home a 4-2 victory yesterday. Remember, they beat the everything out of Oklahoma game 1, 10-4. Then they come back, they win 4-2. The difference? A 3-run 8th inning in which the Runnin' Rebels scored twice on wild pitches. I hate it for Oklahoma. Hate it for Oklahoma. But you can't do that in a championship game. You can't be throwing wild pitches with players on third in a championship game. You just can't do it. Now, Ole Miss did benefit from a runner interference call that took a run away from Oklahoma in the 6th inning that was relatively controversial. Effectively, the base runner was running on the inside of the base path, and a ball that was being thrown from around the pitcher's mound ended up popping him in the left butt cheek as he got to first. They went ahead and called that runner interference. It was a fair call. The Boomer Sooner fans did not like it, but it was a fair call. The Rebels also faced a spectacular pitching performance from Cade Horton. 13 strikeouts. 13 strikeouts. And a loss. Yikes. Brandon Johnson struck out the side 1-2-3 in the 9th to set off a celebration on the field and in the stands of over 25,900 in attendance, the majority of them in Ole Miss powder blue. Catcher Hayden Dunhurst ran to the mound, tackled Johnson after Sebastian Orduno swung and missed on the final pitch, and the Rebels and their 22nd year head coach Mike Bianco, who earlier this year was looking at losing his job, was looking at losing his job. 22-17 overall. 7-14 in SEC play if you go back to May 1st. What they do since then? Oh, no big deal. Finished the season on a 20-6 run beat out NC State for the final at-large bid, had to go on the road, did so to win the regionals and super regionals, finished a 20-6 run, including 10-1 in the national tournament. Their only loss at the College World Series, a 3-2 defeat at the hands of Arkansas on Wednesday. The next day, Dylan DeLucia pitched a 4-hit shutout to beat the Hogs and send the Rebels to the finals. DeLucia was named the College World Series Most Outstanding Player after allowing 1 earned run, striking out 17 and 0 walks in 16 and a half innings. Spectacular baseball from Ole Miss. If you're a baseball fan, this is it. This is it. This was baseball at its absolute finest. Absolute finest. And it was spurred on by a story I am sure that you have heard everybody else talking about, but I have not gotten a chance to, so I'm going to now. In the midst of Omaha, Nebraska, where the College World Series takes place, there is a bar. The bar's name is Rocco's. Now, Rocco's is pretty well known as an establishment in Omaha around which, if your team's not on the field, you're at Rocco's. It's a bar. You're having some drinks. Well, Rocco's, a number of years ago, started a competition where they sell $4 Jell-O shots to fans of the baseball teams.
Is that a good price?
Yeah, it's not bad.
Okay.
I mean, and they're 8-ounce shots. So, I mean, it's usually a shot of booze is 1.5 ounces. These are 8 ounces, which means you're getting about 4 ounces. So, yeah, it's a good price. And they sell them. They challenge the fans to show up and buy these Jell-O shots. And they donate $2 of every Jell-O shot sold to a food bank in the cities that the teams come from, right? So you're not only drinking, but you're drinking for a good cause. That's the best kind of drinking, people. A little bourbon and a good cause. Come on, man. Anyway, Ole Miss and Arkansas showed up. They had raised, before the game started, $14,798 for the June B. Gearhart Full Circle Food Pantry. Rebels fans raised $11,854 for the Grove Food Pantry. And that's all pretty spectacular. But the totals of the number of shots that went down was insane. The shots, in fact, I'm going because I want to make sure I got the updated numbers because they kept going through last night. But the updated numbers, the last I saw, according to the Jell-O Shot Challenge, the CWS Jell-O Shot Challenge Twitter handle at CWS Shotboard has put up, let me see, they put the finals numbers up? I'm looking for the final numbers. Yes, they did. Final numbers, Lonzo, of Jell-O shots. Remember, $4.50 a pop, $2 of each one goes back to your school's, a food bank in your school city. Stanford, showing that they are not SEC caliber. 229 Jell-O shots consumed. Remember, they got 0-2'd out. Texas, showing that they have work to do before they show up in the SEC. Second to last, 316 shots purchased and consumed. Third to last, and a very disappointing third to last, I expected at better, Keegan, out of your Auburn Tigers. 430 shots sold. Halfway up the leaderboard is where we find Notre Dame. The Catholics outpacing the SEC's Tiger Men's 814 shots. So, sorry, scratch that. 607 sold to Notre Dame. Oklahoma, towards the top of the leaderboard, top half. 814. They paced everybody else. That's the team working on the SEC, but we are nowhere near done. 814 for Oklahoma. Arkansas, 800. Nope, I'm lying to you. I'm sorry. I missed the one, Lonzo. 8,661 Jell-O shots sold. Texas A&M just below them, 1,325. So the top half of your leaderboard goes 1,325 for A&M, 8,661 for Arkansas, and your winners this year, Ole Miss, national champions, whose fans drank 18,003 Jell-O shots over, 10 days? 11 days in Omaha? 18,000 Jell-O shots. Now, I'm bad at math, Lonzo, but I don't think you need a calculator to do 18,000 times 2. But in case you do, $36,000. $36,000 that Ole Miss fans drank to the food pantry, the Grove Food Pantry. Arkansas second, 10,000 Jell-O shots behind. Ladies and gentlemen, Ole Miss loses most of their football games. They clearly have never lost the party. 18,000 Jell-O shots in a touch over a week at $4.50 a pop.
Again, because I don't, nor have I ever, nor shall I ever drink, how many Jell-O shots does it take before you feel it? I know it depends on your, body weight and all that kind of stuff.
It does. Jell-O shots are interesting because they are, if you do them the traditional way, they're effectively the same as taking a shot. It's about 1.5 ounces of booze mixed in with about 4 to 5 ounces of Jell-O. From what I understand, these guys do about 2 shots a pop. So I'd say a lightweight, you're looking at 3 Jell-O shots and you catching a buzz.
So would a lightweight be someone who drinks like White Claws or something? I'm just curious.
Theoretically, yeah.
Okay.
Not calling anybody else specifically, but yeah.
Okay. All right.
Yeah.
I'm trying to get a vision in my mind.
Yeah.
That's all.
If you're a lightweight, right? If you're a lightweight, if you go somewhere and you drink drinks that are served with flowers floating on top of them, 3, maybe 4, you cop the buzz. 5, maybe 6, you're getting there. 7 or more, you're drunk. If you are a true professional like me, I'll knock back down 13, 14 before I catch a buzz. But I've been practicing my whole life. Guys like me are why Ole Miss got to 18,000 Jell-O shots.
So you're saying it? You could hang out with the Ole Miss people and you'd be right at home.
Right in.
All right.
I'd fit right in. No doubt. No doubt. If I was there, that number would be like 18,100. Because not only would I have a few, I'm a bad influence on others too. 18,000 Jell-O shots in a week. In a week.
I'd be curious about how many people that actually is, though.
Well, the stadium holds about 28,000. It's a new stadium. 28,000 or so, yeah? You got to keep in mind that Ole Miss played loss, win, 5 baseball games. If you're an Ole Miss fan, that's 5 tailgating opportunities, right? 5 tailgating opportunities, which means you're going to be hitting this bar before the game. And considering Ole Miss played, I think, 5 games and won 4, or played 6 games and won 5, 5 to 6 tailgating opportunities, and the majority of them, you're going out celebrating after you win too, right? Now, the other thing is, If you're the type of cat that lives in the Grove, that lives in Oxford, Mississippi, or anywhere down on the Gulf Coast, Mississippi, right? And you've got take myself to Omaha for a week to watch baseball money, Lonzo, bar tabs are inconsequential to you, right? Like if in the face of $4.50 a gallon gas, you can gas up the Explorer or whatever and head to Rocco's in Omaha, because Omaha and the Grove, they're not next door to each other. You're not super worried about what your bar tab is on a weekly basis. So I promise you, there were probably, Lonzo, there were probably like 6 or 7 big-time Ole Miss boosters there. You know, they had their box seats. They walked in. They handed their credit card to the barkeep, and they were like, I want $2,000 of Jell-O shots. Keep them coming for the rest of the night. And I only know that because I watched Jerry Jones at the Senior Bowl give his whatever fancy crypt card he had to a barkeep at Veets Bar across from the Battle House Hotel and tell the bartender, basically points to a group and goes, everything they order on me. She's like, any restrictions? He's like, nope, everything they order on me. And I'm watching Jerry's friends order like glasses of Dom from a dive bar, you know, $70 a glass bottles of wine. And guys like Jerry don't care. They don't care. That money is inconsequential as long as the fun is being had and they're selling their product. Ole Miss fans walked in, handed over a few black cards. We're like, yo, $2,000 of shots. Don't stop till you run out. 18,000 Jell-O shots. They outpaced Arkansas by 10,000 Jell-O shots. That's insane. That's insane. I've been texted by my mother that me telling you collectively that I could put most of you under a table via years of training is a, quote, bad look. My producer agrees, Mom, for the record.
Yeah, well, executive producer.
Sorry. My executive producer agrees. But I earned it, baby. I earned it. It is what it is. Let's take a break. We're back after this. My name is Rob Brown. You're listening to The Rob Brown Show right here on the Fan Upstate.
You waited all that time to give it a shot. I mean, it was in the right direction.
Yeah, it was. Every segment like that. If I make one, I'm walking out.
Okay.
All right, Una Moss. Kobe. Strings. Oh, so how's everybody in the chat? How we doing? How we doing? How we doing? How we doing?
Do some research before I write the verses to that song.
Yeah.
I want to find the ugliest creature that there is. Well, it's definitely someone who has traveled to a tavern.
Yeah.
Not a. You have turned the table.
I sure have.
So you have created.
A tougher angle.
You have. I mean, to the point where I don't know that it's impossible.
It's not impossible. There's room. Ooh.
That was there.
Water, water everywhere.
That's why at Moen, we're innovating to save 1 trillion gallons of water by 2030. Discover Mission Moen at Moen.com.
Welcome to Total Wine and More.
I want something fun in the sun.
You will love this sparkling wine.
Wow, great price.
Love what you find. Only at Total Wine.
Okay, why is there nothing in there? It says there's something in there. That's weird. Oh, crud. Why did I do that? Still not playing. There we go. Why did I do that?
The Fan Upstate.
Okay, I've never seen that before. That was so weird.
State Fan. Call 844-FAN.
Oh, okay. I don't know what happened.
No,
What happened?
it's like, okay, so no. So two things were playing in channel 2 at once. And they're flickering.
It's not supposed to do that,
Yeah,
right?
they were flickering. Like
Yeah.
that was weird.
All right, Texter says, if one drinks a Mike's Hard Lemonade and feels a buzz after that, how many Jello shots is that equivalent to? Asking for a friend. Tell your friend, don't do Jello shots. If they're catching a buzz after half a Mike's Hard Lemonade, you're going to want to tell them stay away from the Jello shots, all right?
On behalf of me, just don't drink, period. But I mean, if you're going to, I guess listen to Rob.
If you are going to take my advice, trust me, I am a professional, ladies and gentlemen. Tracy said, have you ever played Farming Simulator? No. I don't like to cut my own grass. You think I'm going to stay inside and play a video game that involves farming? No. All you, buddy. All right. Initial reports coming out that the National Football League,
I think I broke channel 2, by the way.
just in general.
No, if you put anything in it, it just starts playing. So
Oh, there's a trigger for that. I found it when I was filling in on that side last time.
no, you're thinking of not having it in insert, and then it becomes in essence just pushing the button. No, it's in insert. If I put something in 3, it will sit there idle until I push it. If I put it in 2 now, it just starts playing. I
got
broke it.
nothing.
I broke.
I got nothing.
I literally broke it until engineering comes in.
Did that go in?
I don't think so. It was close.
Straight
dude.
did that go
It
in?
was really close.
It looked like it went in. All right. Where was I going? I had a thing that was not Jello shot related that I was getting into there. Yes, the NFL is, according to, and again, with the Deshaun stuff, not a grain of salt, full shaker. Full shaker. Andrew Beaton of the Wall Street Journal has posted an article on the Wall Street Journal's website. It is in their sports section. Andrew Beaton of the Wall Street Journal says that the National Football League is looking to hand down, quote, an indefinite suspension lasting no less than 1 full year, end quote, under the league's personal conduct policy.
So you can't say indefinite and then put a time on it.
Yeah, you can.
I think indefinite means
Length going that way is a question mark. You can set a minimum time, but not a maximum, right? Like I could say 2 weeks.
but then it's not indefinite, is it?
It is indefinite. Indefinite, it means like moving forward. Like 17 weeks with no definite end. That's an it means there's no definite end to it. Multiple women obviously still carrying the lawsuit. 4 of them, 20 settled. 4 have not. The National Football League is still waiting to find out what happens with those. Of course, we had the New York Times report. What'd you find out? You look like you rolled away.
It's not an argument we need to have. If you put it, unless I'm misunderstanding, indefinite means lasting for an unknown or unstated length of time. So maybe I misheard. You can't put a minimum on indefinite. Indefinite means you don't know how long it's going to last.
Correct.
Right, but you said there's a minimum.
Right.
There can't be a minimum.
Sure there can. You don't know how long it's going to last after it gets to that point. 17 games,
No,
and then we have no idea after that.
Then Rob, it's not
It's
indefinite.
it is still indefinite.
It's not indefinite because you're saying it's at least 17. That makes it
Okay, right. At least 17.
the
don't know-
writer, if he said indefinite, is incorrect in
No,
how
he's
he
not. He's
how he
fine.
worded it.
That word is fine. Lasting for an unknown length of time, right? We know that
You can't put a cap on it because then it's not indefinite.
No. We do not know when it is going to end. We know it will be at least a year. How long after that until it ends?
Indefinite means
How long
you
after-
don't. Indefinite
after a
means
year?
you don't know. Period.
No, it doesn't. It means you do not know when it's going to end. It means you cannot define it. The definition is unavailable.
Well, then don't put 17 in there. You can't say that
Yes,
because
you
then it's
can.
not indefinite.
Ladies and gentlemen, I need you to help me once again. All right, an indefinite suspension of at least one season. That is what Andrew Beaton of the Wall Street Journal is reporting. The New York Times report stated, obviously, that there were 66 masseuses that came involved. And because of those 4 that are still out there, the NFL is looking at the full season as they let this go, as they let this play out. In the article on the Wall Street Journal, Beaton wrote, quote, the league's belief that it should institute what is essentially the strictest discipline it can assess is based on its investigation over the last year, the breadth of the allegations against Deshaun, and some accusations that NFL officials have concluded are particularly damning. While the league's arguments include the broad array of the accusations against Watson, in addition to the 24 lawsuits, other women have accused him of wrongdoing without taking civil action against him. Officials have zeroed in on 5 of the alleged victims whose cases they believe include the strongest evidence. The league will focus on those 5 cases as it argues for the significant ban. Those cases include contemporaneous corroboration, such as text messages of the women's accounts. 2 of the people said. League officials believe these allegations in particular are objectively provable and establish a clear and disturbing pattern of behavior from Watson. The league will not accept a suspension of less than 1 year. That's what Beaton says in the Wall Street Journal. And that an indefinite suspension, one where the terms are not definite and therefore completely unknown, therefore by definition indefinite, would give the league the ability to keep Watson away from the game for a longer time if further developments arise, such as an increase in accusations against him. The NFL and NFLPA, as we told you last week, did sit down to attempt to negotiate Watson's suspension. I told you at that point in time that I believe that they were looking for at least a year. They were looking for at least a year because if they were not looking for a year, I think Deshaun and co. would have accepted it. I said they're looking for at least a year, and I thought it was a possibility the NFL may have brought 2 years to the table. However, at this point, I would say that the fact that the fact that Deshaun and company were not able there, I would bet you the NFL came to the table either with a 2-year or with a 1-year indefinite suspension. A minimum of 17, no cap on the maximum. No cap on the maximum. And Deshaun and company said no. So that's where we stand. Wall Street Journal now reporting that the NFL wants at least 1 year, indefinite suspension that would move on into the future. We do not have, as of this moment in time, any indication about whether that will come through. We do not have any idea at this point in time whether the arbitrator the retired judge, the arbitrator here, would approve of this. Pardon me. And we do not have any idea if Deshaun, I mean, we do know Deshaun obviously will appeal this. We do know he will appeal this. We do not know if the arbitrator is going to say this is acceptable or if she'll let Deshaun's appeal get heard. But I told you last week, the NFL came with at least 1 year to the table, and if Andrew Beaton of the Wall Street Journal is correct, then I was correct. We talk more about it later on. This break is definite. It will end in roughly 6 minutes. We know the beginning of the break and the end of the break. Therefore, it is not indefinite. It is definite. He's Lonzo. I'm Rob. This is the Rob Brown Show on the Fan Upstate.
You know, I'm thinking that there are these two arrow buttons in the middle.
Yeah.
That I may have hit one of those.
Okay.
I don't know what those things do. Now I'm trying to figure out how I can test it without it tearing something else up, and I don't know how. Chris will come in here and it won't do it again. By the way, for those watching on stream, I didn't stop arguing because I think that I'm wrong. I just have other stuff to do. This will continue.
This will continue for the rest of the day.
I am glad that Rob has decided to champion this writer who, you know, was incorrect in how the article was written, but that's fine.
He wasn't incorrect.
Yes, it was definitely.
He was spot on with the use of the word indefinite.
But now I keep looking at that empty channel and I want to put music in it, but
See what happens.
yeah, but I'm afraid it'll try to play over top of the commercial that's playing. So, and that would be bad. I'll just do it during Jim Rome, you know. Why not? Should I put in the podcast info button? Rob incorrectly defines indefinite.
Oh, man.
Enjoy the taste of summer too, with amazing hand-tossed pies, cool, crisp salads, and over 100 beers from around the world. Mellow Mushroom, 1 Augusta Street in Greenville's West End.
By now, you know that sound. It's the sound of the Home Depot. What about those sounds? Those are the sounds of a new laundry set that provides a powerful yet gentle clean in less time, making this the sound of appliances. The Home Depot. How doers get more done. Get up to 25% off plus 750 instant savings on select appliances. Valid June 22nd through July 13th. U.S. only. Gas dryer extra. See store for details.
Isn't it time for true transparency in advertising measurement? Welcome to the new open web, where data-driven measurement is only the beginning. Viant brings you the innovative advertising software that enables you to seamlessly plan, buy, and
Hey, man, you all right?
Yeah, like coughing so hard my eyes started watering, dude.
It's been me for the last 2 weeks. Maybe if we actually get some of the rain that we're supposed to get, it will stop some of those.
The third, the final, the best of money hour of the Rob Brown Show goes now. This is the Fan Upstate. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. It is great to have you. I am Rob Brown. He's the great Malonzo. Good to have you guys along for the ride. Hope you're enjoying the show thus far. I like Mondays, right? Like, I know a lot of people complain about Mondays. And don't get me wrong. Like, we had a long weekend. We had a long weekend.
No, next week we're going to have a long weekend.
We had a full weekend.
There we go. There we go.
We had a full weekend. Friday night, we had 2 excellent wrestling shows Friday night, I thought. Dynamite and SmackDown were both solid.
They were pretty good, yes.
Saturday, we had the Liberty playing on the road, which we watched while we were at the tailgate, to then watch the Triumph play at home. Big night. Your boy damn near broke his leg. That's pretty awesome. I was carrying the bass drum for the supporter section, you know, for the march into the stadium.
Did it get heavy?
No. So if you haven't come to a Triumph game yet, our buddy, I was telling you earlier, Mark Shelley was there. We were talking hockey, and I told him play-by-play hockey is the one sport I can't do. Well, we're walking, and I'm playing the bass drum because if you haven't been to a Triumph game, we do a supporters march where we all march from the tailgate. We pop smoke, and we've got flags, and we play the drums, and we do chants as we walk into the stadium. Well,
Okay, you weren't having this conversation with him while walking.
no, that conversation was
Okay, because that kind of
I was talking with people while we were walking, but you're doing the chants, and it's a it's a bass drum. It's a marching bass drum. Well, Lonzo, I stepped off the street and hit a sewage grate.
Oh, dude.
Hit a sewage grate that did not have the grate on it, so it was literally just like a 2-foot hole in the ground.
So you were a bloody drummer for part of that.
Oh yeah. Went down hard. Came up. It was like it wasn't bleeding initially. Got into the stadium, and I didn't get.
And by the way, yes, 2 hours into the show, I noticed that Rob, because I don't look at his legs, okay?
I mean,
and they're just I mean, because of jealousy, obviously.
my
But
calves.
yeah, I know.
They're
Just-
ripped.
Yes, they are, and
Ripped.
they're definitely ripped now.
Yeah. So my man Skrilla goes and grabs the The EMS dude, he rolls over. He's like, hey, let me take care of that for you. I'm like, I'm good, bro. He's like, no. Let me take care of that for you. I'm like, man, look, I appreciate it. I know there's a lot of guys out there, like, save your stuff.
So
know?
you tried to go macho.
Yeah.
Because you didn't want anyone taking
It
pictures or
wasn't that bad.
anything.
It really wasn't that bad.
It looks pretty bad.
It wasn't that bad. And then he goes, dude, move your drum and look. And I look down. Oh, the sock was scarlet. I mean, it was blood. Not a little. A lot of blood. Like a lot of blood. What? I can't say blood?
No, it was. That counts. I was
Yeah.
pointing at.
Oh, gotcha. Yeah.
It was a relevant sports take,
Yeah, I got it.
thought. Yeah,
I got
yes.
it. So the sock is blood. I'm Clemens down on the hill, and the dude's like, so take the macho pants off. I'm fixing this up. I'm like, all right. That's pretty bad. Roughed up pretty good.
Did
Then
he
you know
did
what
he
happened?
really say macho pants too?
No.
Okay, because I really I wanted
Nah.
to meet this guy.
I believe he said, stop. What would he say? Stop. Oh, stop being a hard ass. That's what he said. So he bandages it up, and I'm good to go. Triumph win 2-1. Good day overall. So we got Sunday.
So now you can say you bled for this team.
Oh yeah.
I think you did it on
Oh, yeah.
purpose.
Oh yeah. I told them I wanted to. I want to take one of my white jerseys, and then I just want it red across the front now. You know. Then Sunday. How about yesterday? Not only did we have the NHL Stanley Cup Finals, not only did we have the Atlanta Braves taking on the Dodgers in what is a possible NL Championship Series preview, we had the College World Series as well, and a little D&D last night for your boy. The nerds came over. I had sports and nerd night. It was busy. Yes, it was hard to get up this morning. All right, but you know what? It's Monday. We're here. Let's rock and roll. Let's have some fun.
You know what? I've been to jobs where I didn't want to come in on Monday. Sometimes in this building, I've been in places where I didn't want to come in on Monday. On either station, but this is not that show.
No. I like this show. I like this show. I like this job. I like being here. Texter says, sorry, just tuning in. An EMS guy asked Rob to take his pants off, ?
Not just his pants, his macho pants. You did that to yourself.
I did.
You did.
I absolutely did. I'm not going to say it on the air because it'll never die, but I did a self-yo mama joke on myself to Chris Evans this morning. And every time I walk past Chris in the hall now, he brings it back up. It's like, oh, super.
Yeah, he's got the memory of an elephant when it
Yeah.
comes to things like that. So, yeah.
I like being here on Monday. I am
He
also
will,
ready to go
he
home.
will be coming at you with that
I know.
indefinitely.
I know. I am aware. All right, ladies and gentlemen. Let's get to some stuff in this hour of the show, shall we? Have you heard there's a story that's going around, and I saw a part of it pop up that there was a golfer, and I haven't been able to confirm this, but a golfer walked off a PGA Tour event after hitting an out-of-bounds shot. Did anybody hear that story?
It seems to me that I saw something like on SportsCenter or something about that.
Yeah. All right, here it is from golf.com. And I'm sorry, I just genuinely didn't see this story. All right, here's the story. This is from golf.com. Veteran PGA Tour Jason Kokrak shot a respectable 367 in the opening round of the Travelers Championship. With another solid round on Friday, it looked like Kokrak would be playing the weekend in Connecticut, but his second round did not end as planned. In fact, it technically did not end at all. That is because after hitting his ball out of bounds, Kokrak picked up his clubs, walked off the course in one of the bizarre moments in an already bizarre PGA Tour season. After hitting a long drive on the short par 4 ninth on Friday, Kokrak's final hole of the round, the 37-year-old airmailed the green entirely with his approach shot. But then the play-by-play ends with no further shots recorded. Why? Because after a brief search for his ball, Kokrak decided, screw it. Golf.com didn't write that. I'm adding that for editorial purposes. Screw it. Left the ball, walked off the course, got in his car, and left. See ya. Just decided he was done.
Did he leave the tour completely or just left that particular place where he's playing?
So that is the story. The story was that Kokrak left. Rumors, here's what Golf.com says. Rumors quickly spread that Kokrak may have fled the course in frustration, maybe for good, on his way to join Live Golf, but reporter Jason Sobel found otherwise. In text with William McGirt, one of Kokrak's playing partners on Friday, Sobel learned that the group took a long time to determine, 1, the ball was out of bounds, and 2, where the correct drop zone would be. Not wanting to force the group behind them to wait in the fairway, Kokrak decided to pick up and change his MC to a DQ. Kokrak is ranked number 33 in the world golf rankings, 3 PGA Tour wins in his career, all coming in the last 2 years. The most recent at the Houston Open in November of last year. 16 starts this season, 3 missed cuts, but this is his first career DQ. Jason Sobel says that he did not leave to join the Live Tour, although that was the rumor going on. Basically, the reason I bring this up is because we were talking. Me and the amigos were talking about this last night, and the story had grown to Kokrak goes OB, gets into his car, drives away without finishing the round, and signs with Live Golf. That was the story. That was the story, yeah? According to the playing partner in the round, it was the 18th. He had already missed the cut at this point. There was no coming back. He was already done. This was on the very last hole of the day for Kokrak, and he did not sign with the Live Tour. He basically was like, all right, I missed the cut. Even if I find the ball, get the ball, transport the ball to the drop zone, drop, hit the shot, get onto the green, I'm basically slowing up the play behind me for multiple groups. I'll stack up the course. So since I already missed the cut and there's no more penalties, I'm out later. But it went from Kokrak walks off on 18 because to finish playing would have stalled out the rest of the course to Kokrak went on B, got furious, stormed out mid-round, and immediately signed with the Live Tour. And that's not what happened. The point that I'm making here, Lonzo, is read the article. Read the article. Read the article! Traditionally, and I know most of you people hear media and you go, ew! The majority of people in the media are good people trying to tell you what's honestly happening, especially in sports. The majority of media members, I've been in it a lot longer than pretty much all of you. All right? I'm not going to sound like a butthole here for a second. I'm in the media a long time. The overwhelming majority of people I've worked with are good people doing a good job of telling you what's happening. We've just gotten to a point where I don't like it, therefore it's all fake news. Nah, not how it works. Anyway.
That's not necessarily the truth. I think some people are tired of being misled by some of the same people over and over again.
Let's stop listening to them.
If Mad Dog wrote this article, would you still be saying you should read it?
If Mad Dog can do what Jason Sobel did and back it up with screenshots of text with the people who were on the course playing with Kokrak, yes. I'd go, all right, he brought receipts. At the end of the day, the source of the information is not important. It is, can you prove what you're telling me? Just like with everything else.
I get where you're going as far as sources goes. One side likes some source,
Hashtag
another
sources.
side likes another source.
Yeah.
But in the end, I think it's what's the most reliable source.
I agree.
But when I hear a story, and I've taught my kids this, when did you hear this? Tell me your sources, not just one source. And when I find a story that I think is kind of unbelievable, I will look up 3, 4, 5 articles, not from whatever side of the aisle I might be on, but just a ton of articles to see what everyone's reporting on it before I believe it.
Absolutely.
We've had that problem on the air before when Cam Newton had his accident. There was a guest host who was also a co-host was on right away, started saying all this stuff. I'm like, dude, we cannot do that.
Yeah.
We haven't confirmed all these things yet. And he had to backtrack what he said because you got to have multiple. You need to have multiple sources. Never believe one source entirely.
Correct. I will tell you this. If you've got a source who has repeatedly come with receipts and been able to prove his story, here's the thing. You can believe one source if that source comes and proves his claim. Not makes a claim, proves the claim. So-and-so was drunk at the time of the accident. That's a statement.
Yeah, but even so, for the reasons of, I want to say maybe corroboration or something, to if someone says, oh, yeah, well, where did you read that
Right.
at? You can say, I read that here, 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 and here.
Sure.
Even if the first source you read is someone you believe to be completely honest all the time, having multiple sources just helps to back your case.
Absolutely. It is one thing for a reporter to go, so-and-so was drunk at the time of the accident. It's another thing for that reporter to be the first person who breaks the police report with the toxicology reports attached and can go, not only was he drunk, but he had this BAC, according to this toxicologist and the so-and-so county sheriff's department. That man brought receipts. He's got proof for what his claim is. He's a reliable source for this story, right? The point is, even in sports, when this started trending on social media that Jason Kokrak stormed off the course and was joining the Live Tour. No, he didn't. No, he didn't. He lost his ball on the 18th hole. He realized he had gotten to the point where finding the ball was irrelevant. He had already missed the cut, so he left. Wasn't going to sign the Live Tour. And my man Jason Sobel showed up with receipts, with text from the guys on the tour with him saying, no, he literally told us if I find this ball and put it in the drop zone, I'm going to slow up the next 3 or 4 groups. So I'm just going to bail. I've already missed the cut. There's no harm, no foul here. Read the article. Gets you some sources.
Yeah, but in the end, in the world of clickbait and things like that, that's not really that interesting.
Oh, of course.
So you've got to paint the picture a different way.
Of course. I need you to click on this article. I need you to click on this article. And once you click on this article, you know, I've already got you. It doesn't matter if you, I've seen plenty that are like, it says something in the headline and then you open it up and it's like, shocking news from Tiger Woods' most recent girlfriend. And then you open the article and it's like, Tiger Woods doesn't have a most recent girlfriend, but if she did.
Well, we've got a service that finds all the articles that are trending on certain subjects. There have been times the last month where I've clicked on something where I'm like, that's pretty interesting. I would like to use that. And an article has been cited over and over again to the point where it's made a trend, and none of them say what the headline said.
Yeah. Yeah. Read the damn article. All right. Read the article. All right. Let's take a break. When we come back here in just a minute from right now, I got a big soccer story for you. We've got more Stanley Cup, and the ACC is looking at a new scheduling format, similar to the one we talked about with the SEC. If that is the case, who might Clemson's permanent, there's the word I'm looking for. Struggle's real today. Who might Clemson's permanent rivals become if the ACC changes its scheduling format? We'll address that when we come back on the Rob Brown Show on the Fan Upstate.
It's a new problem that I'm glad I didn't have to deal with. I picked a short bed, and I was scared you were going to go over the bed, and I started to put the same bed in 2, and then I realized I can't do that. So I have to just. So I don't know. I don't want to
channel 2 and find out. I'm curious.
I don't want to put something in that will play over the commercials that are playing now.
I get it.
If it double plays, that's bad for the client.
But you can. Pardon me. You can turn the volume off on 2 and it won't play.
Right, but I'm afraid it might jump on 1 while
I got
1
you.
is playing. But I can do it while the weather's playing. Okay, it didn't do it. All right. We'll see what happens when I bring us back with music. Hey, look at that. It's time to go to the bathroom.
Thank you, Steven. I'm glad to be here, pal. Glad to be here.
We timed that perfect. My granddaughter is now hooked on Goku. So every time she comes, can we watch Goku?
Nothing wrong with that.
Nothing wrong with it at all, except she's like, she wants to play with my action figures, which I really don't have a problem with, except for the fact that she wants to take them home.
Can't have that.
To the point where I went looking for the exact one that she wants to play with, and they didn't have anymore. It's hard to find those now since it's not out anymore. I think it's like an 8-inch Goku of when he was a little kid, and we're watching it, so she's looking at it, and it's the same thing. So, but she gave me the sad face,
The sad face.
thinking that would. So I had to make that hard decision of teaching someone that they don't get everything they want just because they try to. And no, she didn't get it.
She didn't get you?
No, it's, again, a hard decision. I also have experience. So, I mean,
Space Channel's got movies, original series, news, music, and so much more.
we couldn't get Cameron's amp to play for a while, so I had to go up there and help him. And it wasn't wired right, so I had to go take a keyboard and play. It's like, let's hook this up and play a song over and over again. When we found it, I thought I had all the volumes down. Did not. It's worth it though to watch him jump back like 3 feet.
This summer, fire up your imagination with Audible. Listen to comedy
I'm glad he's taking it back up though.
and more. It's
I saw his picture. That's a nice little bass he's got.
Sign up for a free 30-day trial at
It's all right. He'll buy himself a better one. I bought it, but I just gave it to him. So.
So an interesting little article here. Scott Kiefer of the Greenville News posted a few days yesterday. Posted yesterday afternoon. My man was busy. Scott, it's Sunday, man. Take the day off, Scotty. Take you a nap, Scotty. I liked it. Talks about the ACC, the Atlantic Coast Conference, moving towards adopting a new scheduling model for football. And he asks what I think is a very fair question, which is, of course, if they decide to go, as the rumor is, to the 3 permanent rival scheduling, who would be the 3 for Clemson? Well, my man Scott sat down with Clemson Athletics Director Graham Neff and talked to him a little bit about it. Graham said, quote, there are a lot of moving parts, not only with Clemson, but with other teams and other rivalries. Do they need to play? Do they not need to play? What about regional geography and travel? It truly has not been set yet, but there are variations of that, and there's trying to be a decision from the league and the athletic directors on what fits best for the league. So there probably are some variations on what that could look like for a lot of schools, Clemson included, end quote. So Scott decided to make what he calls, quote, a few educated guesses, and I dig it. He says the leader in the clubhouse right now for the ACC is the 3-5-5 scheduling method, where you would have 3 permanent opponents and then a rotating slate of home and home games with 5 other opponents. And Scott throws out who he thinks will be the candidates' annual rivals, who Clemson's annual rivals may end up being.
Also known as victims.
Sure. As of right now, yeah, pretty much. Here's who he's got on the list right now. He says Georgia Tech is one. Said the Yellow Jackets are a longtime rival that seem a natural fit as a permanent opponent. I'm quoting Scott here. Prior to Clemson's current 7-game winning streak in the series, the team split their 32 regular season meetings since the Yellow Jackets joined the ACC in 1983. There have been plenty of memorable games between the teams, including a stretch of 6 consecutive games decided by exactly 3 points between 96 and 01. Says Georgia Tech, as well as the next school I'll mention, make a lot of sense, that I don't want to be coy, but by no means are those set or determined. And there could be arguments made for other matchups, too, in the Carolinas or Louisville. There's just all kinds of different ways that could make sense, competitive balance or otherwise. They may well be where we land, but that's not determined yet. The other school that he was talking about that makes sense as a natural rivalry would be the NC State Wolfpack, the Textile Bowl. The Wolfpack's recent resurgence, the last season's 2 overtime win against the Tigers in Raleigh, added a little intrigue to a rivalry that dates back to 1899. Since 1899, Clemson and NC State, Scott says, have played 89 times, which is the most games the Tigers have played against any ACC opponent. This season's games at Clemson should have major implications both on a regional and national level. And finally, the third team, Zoe. He's got NC State and Georgia Tech. Who's the third school that he wants to retain that is a guess for Scott to retain the rivalry?
Well, Will has already put it on the stream, so if he's correct, it would be Florida State.
That would be correct. And I think FSU is the one no-brainer, right? Like, if you trusted one school in the ACC to find their way back and eventually once again challenge Clemson for conference supremacy, is it not Florida State? Who else? Matt Brown's going to be done at Carolina at some point. NC State has been they've been good the last couple of years. Last year was an anomaly. Miami, maybe? Trust Miami to jump up and do it? And even if so, is Clemson-Miami a rivalry? I can't say it has, right?
Well, some would say there are no rivalries for Clemson right now. And they would be correct.
Fair. Save for the 2020 COVID year. Clemson and FSU have played every season since the Noles joined the league in 92, producing obviously plenty of memorable games, including the showdowns between the Bowdens, Bobby and Tommy from 97 to 05, the old Bowden Bowl. Obviously, Clemson and Florida State have been the ACC's preeminent programs for the past 30 years. Scott says they've split their past 22 meetings, with those games being decided by an average margin of 1.2 points. Neff said, quote, certainly Florida State and Clemson is a prominent matchup that makes a lot of sense, end quote. So Florida State, NC State, and Georgia Tech are the three schools that the Greenville News' Scott Kiefer says will be on the table. And I think that's probably fair, right? I think that's probably fair. Is there, Zoe? Is there cause to maybe replace Georgia Tech with like a North Carolina and have a border war? Does Clemson fans care about the border war the way that like South Carolina and North Carolina looked last year?
Far be it from me to speak for Clemson fans, but I will say that I don't think
You've been talking to over a long time. Take a guess.
I don't think that Clemson cares. I think this matters more to the other teams. So if you're looking for a permanent 3, do you want to play the team that's been the champ year in and year out, or do you want to play someone who you think you can beat? So if you're Georgia Tech, or if you're Florida State, or if you're NC State, as Scott Kiefer has said, would be the 3. If you're any of those 3 teams, do you want Clemson to be your permanent? I mean, in one sense, you're looking to, okay, here's the top. Here's who we have to beat to be able to compete in anything, the ACC, or to have a shot at the national championship. But at the same time, you play in other teams, you got a shot at beating.
Yeah, and there's, I've said a number of times on the show, with where college football is in 2022, why make your schedule harder, right? Why don't we have more great out-of-conference games? Why would you? Why would you? Unless you're a little school, like one of the little, unless you're a Coastal Carolina, right? You have already been shown that if you're in a Power 5 and you win your games, you go.
Well, and also in the ACC, we saw like last year that Clemson lost some games that they should that they hadn't lost recently. So if you can be in a position where you don't have to play them and you're still in the same division, I think the divisions are still the same, right? Is it still Coastal and whatever the other one is in the ACC?
Yeah, Atlantic, Coastal and Atlantic.
By the way, I did that on purpose because
Coastal and Atlantic.
Yeah. So if you're still in the same division and you can win all your games and there's a shot that they lose one, then you can go without actually playing them. So why would you want to play them?
So the suspicion is going to be that if we switch to this 3-5-5 model, there won't be divisions anymore.
Okay.
Right?
All right.
So we would go to, it would basically be, you'd have your 3, you'd play
Well,
home and
even
away
so,
for
it
5.
still plays into that, because then if they should lose and you don't lose any, then you're
Right.
Then you're
like if you're
ahead
if
of them.
you're NC State, if you're Georgia Tech, and one of your 3 permanents is Clemson every year, that sucks for you, right? Because if, let's say, North Carolina catches as their permanent rivals Duke, Wake, and NC State, which makes sense, right? You'd have all the Carolina teams in a rivalry. You'd have NC State playing Clemson, North Carolina, and Duke. You'd have North Carolina playing Duke, NC State, and Wake. Wake playing, Duke, North Carolina, and Boston College, whatever. However it works out. If you caught Clemson as a rival and somebody else had Duke, Wake, and Georgia Tech as their 3, they got an easier path to the end game than you do by just not having to play Clemson every single year. But, also at the same time, win your damn games if you want to be a champ, right? That's what we say all the time. Win your damn games if you want to be a champ.
Yeah, and especially if you have aspirations to go beyond the ACC and actually compete for a national championship, maybe you want Clemson, because if you can beat them, then maybe you have a shot, and if you can't, you don't.
Yeah. So Clemson fans, do you care? Are you interested? Do you care? If they switch to 3-5-5, who do you want your 3 rivals to be?
So Will says Clemson fans hate Georgia Tech. Do Clemson fans love another? You should hate everyone you play.
Did you hear that, ladies and gentlemen? Lonzo says you should hate everybody.
From
Wise
a
words
team standpoint.
from the
I
executive
don't
producer.
I don't know why you're trying to break me down. It's because you know I'm right about indefinite.
No, you're not. You're absolutely dead wrong about
Do
it.
you
You
ex-
are
do you expect-
definitively wrong.
Do you expect Colonel Grudge to forget that?
No, never. Will checked in. Will said Clemson is going to have Georgia Tech, FSU, and NC State. That's what Scott says, too. That's what Scott said, too. He said Clemson fans hate Georgia Tech. I would assume so. It's a 130-year-old rivalry or whatever it is, right?
Well, I don't think you look at another team and go, "Oh, I'm so hey guys."
My great-great-grandpappy hated you. Now I hate you, too.
That's what I'm saying. You don't say, "Hey guys, good to see you. Come on in. Come on in to Death Valley." We don't even call it Death Valley today.
It's Friendly Valley.
Yeah, it's Friendly Valley. Come on in.
My great-great-great-grandpappy hated the Yellow Jackets. Now I hate a Yellow Jacket, too.
You do know that's how that works, right? I know
Yes.
yeah, that is especially, it would seem, for Clemson, that's how
I
that
didn't
works.
celebrate Ole Miss having a national championship yesterday because most of my family are LSU fans who hate Ole Miss. Ole Miss and LSU outside of baseball and the football field haven't been competitive in years. I couldn't celebrate it.
Hey,
because of an
they didn't
old-ass
have to.
rivalry.
They didn't have to teach me to hate Michigan and Ohio. You just do.
Texter said, face or heel. Grandfather has a toy that granddaughter wants to take home, and he says no. Face or heel.
I believe it was the Rolling Stones who put out the song "You Can't Always Get What You Want." Thank you very much. Valuable life lessons.
Texter says, indefinite is contradictory in scope. At least implies a specific number or more. Indefinite is no set number. No, there is
That
no
is
set-
that was my point. That was absolutely my point. And the texter's right.
No.
And you know I feel bad for you,
No.
Rob. I do.
Indefinite means that there is no set definition. Right? No set definition. 17 to
No,
question
indefinite
mark.
means it starts and it goes on forever.
No, you cannot
there's no
define it.
minimum. There's no if you put a minimum on it, it's not indefinite.
Okay, I'm thinking of a number in my head. It is above 17. What number is it?
69.
I'm taking a break. Back after this on the Rob Brown Show, the Fan Upstate. What a reference.
Okay, so why are you sending me a clock? Big Lou.
Big Lou.
He's just like you. If you look up Big Lou, you can actually see a picture of him. That is a weird ponytail. How does that? I mean, it's like it looks like a poodle. How does she get her hair to? I don't. Maybe it's just shorter, and I don't know.
Alana's travel agency is overbooked and experiencing delays. She needs to land a new project manager to clear her business's runways. Indeed can help her hire great people fast. I mean Indeed. Indeed you do. You can schedule and conduct virtual interviews all from your employer dashboard. Earn up to $500 in sponsored job credits by interviewing on Indeed. Visit Indeed.com/credit. Terms and conditions apply.
Weather brought to you by the Hey Maine Podcast.
Hey, this is Kenny Mayne. I have a new podcast on Odyssey. It's called Hey Maine, the Kenny Mayne Talks to Famous People podcast. That's a long title, and I'm out of time for the promotion.
God, I love Kenny. I love Kenny. That was amazing. Sprinting to the end of the Rob Brown Show right here on the Fan Upstate. You want to chime in here before we get done with the show? You're welcome to 844-FAN phone, 844-326-3663. Text us on the preferred home services text line 71307-71307. Start your text with FAN FAM. We'll read them on the air. And, of course, make sure you're checking out the stream at facebook.com/TheFanUpstate. Or go to YouTube. Search The Rob Brown Show. Like and subscribe to my YouTube channel. And you can watch all 3 hours of the show every single day right there. You are welcome, America. We, that being me and Lonzo, are just here to make your life better. And I got to tell you, we're doing a pretty good job. We're doing a pretty damn good job, if I may say so myself. All right. Let's see. We've mentioned a couple of things. Let's get back real quick. Let's get back real quick to the Live Tour. Because this weekend is the first Live Golf event in the United States. It is going to be taking place in Oregon. The Pumpkin Ridge Golf Club in tiny North Plains, Oregon, nestled in the rolling hills west of Portland. That according to Ann Peterson, writing for the Associated Press. The North Plains mayor, as well as officials from surrounding cities, have written the club's owner, Escalante Golf, with concerns about the Live Tour playing an event there. Oregon Senator Ron Wyden has spoken out against the tournament taking place, and multiple members of the pricey and influential club are uncomfortable with the event being played there as well. So, why? And the reason why is because obviously many of them have issues with Saudi Arabia's human rights abuses as is. Many of them have issues, as most of us do, with the civil rights abuses, the murder of Jamal Khashoggi, etc. But here's a story that popped up. Back in 2016, a young man, 15 years old, by the name of Fallon Smart, was hit and killed by a car in a hit-and-run accident. Police eventually found a Saudi student named Abdul Ramin Samir Noura, who was charged with first-degree murder charges. He was facing first-degree murder charges, was out on bond, when he removed a tracking device and vanished off the map entirely. U.S. authorities came in, they investigated it, and they have come to believe that the Saudi government helped arrange for a fake passport and provided a private jet so that Noura could fly back to Saudi Arabia. The case was featured on 60 Minutes alongside a hefty bit of evidence that Noura was basically black helicoptered out of Oregon by the Saudis under the cover of darkness. Senator Wyden said in an interview with the AP, quote, "It's wrong to be silent when Saudi Arabia tries to cleanse blood-stained hands in the fight for Oregonians to get justice. Fallon Smart was killed very close to our house in Southeast Portland, and the person charged with a crime, a hit-and-run death, was, based on all the evidence, whisked out of the country by the Saudis before he stood trial," end quote. There was also concern the event could bring large protests to North Plains, a town of just 3,400 people. Now, tickets to the event prohibit fans from displaying any political signs because, of course they do. Of course they do. But that does not mean that people could not show up in the city of North Plains itself. And considering all that is going on and around this country right now, it would not shock me to see a rather large protest take place, not just because it's the Saudis, but because it is the Saudis and because of the story of Fallon Smart that was dug up by the AP, put up on 60 Minutes, etc. Wyden said, quote, "It's just a page out of the autocrats' playbook covering up injustices by misusing athletics in hopes of normalizing their abuses." Kevin Palmer of Beaverton, Oregon said, quote, "A lot of members are like stuck between a rock and a hard place right now where politically they don't agree with it at all. But I also joined last year and put down like $12,000. And if I leave, I don't get any of that money back." Lonzo, one day we'll be in a place where we can just be like, yeah, $12K to a club. I'm in.
I don't know. You might get there. I mean, you're national now,
Yeah,
and
but
you have the
you're
possibility.
an executive producer.
Yeah, well,
Anyway.
I don't want to be rich, Rob. I don't want all that goes with that. Why would I want any of that?
I have no idea. I absolutely do. I absolutely do. Not only would I like to have enough to have expensive country club money, I would like to have multiple expensive country. I would like to be a member at multiple expensive country clubs.
All right, so I wouldn't mind having the money to own a country club so I can clear everybody out and just go there and play, so I wouldn't have to deal with the people because they don't seem like nice people.
That's the Lonzoest thing you've said today. Anyway, I'm interested to see what happens here. Jay Monahan, remember last week, said, quote, "The PGA Tour, an American institution, can't compete with a foreign monarchy that is spending billions of dollars in an attempt to buy the game of golf. We welcome good, healthy competition. The Live Saudi Golf League is not that. It's an irrational threat, not one concerned with the return on investment or the true growth of the game." And here's the thing. Jay is right in his last couple of sentences there. The Live Saudi Golf League is not doing this to make money. The PGA Tour does, right? PGA Tour does it to make money. They pay the golfers to go out there and play great golf to get us to watch, so that sponsors give them money for them to split up and run the game. Of course they do. That shouldn't shock anybody. I don't think that it does shock anybody. The Saudis, on the other hand, not so much. The Saudis have one objective. They have one objective, which is the image. That's it. It's PR. It's PR, and it's nothing but PR. It's been PR from the beginning, and it's going to be PR till it's done. As far as the Saudis are concerned, the goal is, hey, if we give them golf, and we give them good golf, entertaining golf, that's why they've gone, for instance, with the shotgun start, you know? Everybody that's going to play is out on the course at the same time. Everybody hits their first tee shot at the same time. It's interesting because the coverage, you know, when you watch the PGA Tour, one of two things happens. Either they start the coverage with the first groups, like there's usually one group going off of 1 and one group going off of 9. They start the coverage with the first groups, and those guys hit their tee shots, and then you got 7 minutes to kill while they walk to their ball and address and set up their next shot, yada, yada, yada. Or they don't start the coverage until the course is full of golfers, in which case you don't get to see all the live shots early in the day. You're hoping they give you the replays you want to see. Live Golf went, no, we're going to throw them out there for the very first moment. Shotgun start. Everybody's hitting a tee shot at the same time. Ready, set, go. Bang. And that's the direction they go in. Monahan's like, we can't keep up because at the end of the day, they're not doing this to make money. They're doing this so that with the fireworks and the glitz and the glamour and the excitement and the shotgun starts and all that, you tune in and you forget that you are watching a league run by a bunch of murderers and whatnot. But like I said, there are a lot of people who feel like this country's not a whole heck of a lot better, so they don't care. I've talked to them. There are a lot of people out there that do not give a good gosh darn about it. They're like, it's sports. And that's kind of their goal. But it works for them. There are people that are going to go out there and pay money to go watch this event, and they don't care where the money ends up at, as long as they're being entertained by the best golfers in the world. That's why the LIV Tour is paying Phil Mickelson $200 million, is playing DJ $150 million or whatever it is. Because at the end of the day, the people going to these tournaments, they clearly don't care. That's fine. I already told you. You know, I heard people saying all these golfers are dead to me if they come back to the tour. I get it. I really do. And I'm not judging you. That's a moral stand. I understand. But my other question would be, if they offered you $200 million to go play golf on their tour, are you taking it? I'm not going to ask you to answer that question. I want you to answer that question yourself. So I can tell you, I've already answered that question. The answer for me, if they offer me $200 million to come do, hell, if they offer me $5 million to come do play-by-play of the LIV Tour, I hate it, but I'd have to take it.
I'm just going to take it as one of those Saudi Prince emails, and I'm just going to ignore it.
That's true. Hell, they might have already asked me. Yeah, okay, Saudi Prince. I'm sure this is legit. No, I'd tell you, I'd have to take it. Why? Because it's a life-changing amount of money. My mom, my brother, my nephew, they're never working again.
Show presents Twitter Trending Topics.
So you hesitated, and I thought, yeah, I mean, it was right on time. So I thought we were there.
I'm not going to lie. I got to 49:30, and then I stopped watching the clock.
And you kept
I did
talking.
it backwards.
All right, time for Twitter Trending Topics, where I tell Rob what is trending, and he will tell us what he knows about it. All right, the first thing that's trending is Top Gun.
Which, shocking, I still have not seen Top Gun Maverick yet.
Well, I will tell you, a lot of other people have. It just passed the $1 billion mark.
I'm not shocked. Of the movies that have come out recently, it is the one that I have heard nothing bad about.
Yeah, you should go see it.
I have
You really
heard
should.
nothing bad about it. I think you know what? I may very well, it's probably not going to work. Hey, girlfriend, if you are listening still, let's go see Top Gun tonight. I like movies. Let's see, is that her? Oh, no, I got excited.
Like, yeah.
I was like, yes, yeah. Oh,
No, you could like sneak
$1 billion.
sneak out after the show. and
No,
just,
because I did. Listen, I had the nerd friends over to play D&D last night. I got a soccer match tomorrow. I got a soccer match on Wednesday. Like, my life is a blur this week, and we're leaving for Georgia on Friday. So basically, today and tonight's the only day and night I have with her before we go on vacation. So I got to be a good guy.
She'll like it. She'll like the movie.
I have no
She
doubt.
Absolutely will. All right,
She's big on this Miles Teller guy.
yeah, and he's like basically the co-star.
Ladies,
So
let me ask you guys a question. Because I know there's, we've got lady listeners. I think the highest percentage of lady listeners on the station belong to this show because you
it
guys
should
are awesome.
be. Yeah, I mean,
Do you guys find Miles Teller attractive? I'm not, fellas, you keep your phones in your pocket. I'm not asking you. Ladies of the show, do you find Miles Teller? Because we watched another movie with him and Thor in it called Snakehead. It's on Netflix.
Spiderhead.
Spiderhead. That's it. Spiderhead. Movie sucked. All right. Movie was terrible. I hated it because I like Thor. I was excited.
Was it worse than Jurassic Park?
Equal
Okay.
or bad? But Miles Teller's in this movie. He's like the co-star in that movie. And she's like, oh my God, he's so hot. And I'm like, no, that dude's not hot. That dude's the most average looking movie star in the game right now. Right? Like if I lost a bunch of weight, I look like Miles Teller, and I'm not being haha funny. He's an average looking dude. I don't get it. Anyway, what else? We got time for more.
My
right?
my wife thinks that he's cute.
I didn't
so-
say he wasn't cute.
Yeah.
I'm cute. I said, is he hot?
Okay. All
There's
right.
a difference.
All right. We got time for one
Miss
more.
Lisa, is he hot? That's the question.
All right. Claudio is trending.
Now You get to see how Claudio should have been used the whole damn time.
Don't get ahead of yourself. We'll see.
Oh, it's
We'll
happening.
see. We'll see. He's going to be in the Blackpool
Is Blackpool
combat
Combat Club the best faction in wrestling right now?
so far.
Yes, it is. Yes, it is.
If you are a fan of violence,
Yes, it is.
which we are.
Miss Lisa said, yes, he's hot.
Okay, there you go.
It has been settled. But why, though?
Our significant others,
Both think he's hot.
yes.
Why? He's just an average dude. Chris Hemsworth is objectively hot. Chris Evans,
Hey,
objectively hot.
maybe
Relax, Chris. I'm talking about Captain.
Maybe Miles Teller is considered hot because they think he's obtainable. Whereas, Chris Hemsworth might be out of reach.
I accept that as reality. In my head, that's canon. Thank you. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for listening. Jim Rum's up next in the Jungle. Bark, Ryan, and Diesel at 3 o'clock with Offsides. You have a spectacular rest of your Monday. Don't drink and drive. I'll punch you in the face. For Lonzo, I'm Rob. This was the Rob Brown Show right here on the Fan Upstate. Later, brother. I miss stream. See y'all tomorrow. Thanks for hanging out. And thanks for being